I extend an invitation to each of you inspired inventors, elusive inquisitors, and all other irritating ishtiks. Welcome to the diecast. Last week, the party faced a winged horde of gruesome and screeching horrors at the docks. Through combined arms, a flame-throwing dive bomber, and some lightning, the party brought low the flock of bastards with ease. After dragging some ominous metal crates, which nearly blew Scaries to the moons, back to the three-legged goblin and a detour to a tattoo shop, the party went for a well-earned bath. There they met a recently attained ally, the Staff of Cathard, the master of the arcane, Sir Erelith Ravenwood. The party requested his assistance with these steel crates in an effort to pry them open. Inside each was a sorceress child. Clearly, whoever ordered these crates to the city is up to some nefarious and cruel scheme. Whilst Erelith breaks free the other children from the crates at the dock, will the party discover any more about these people being smuggled, those involved, and if it has any ties to this so-called cult? Shall we find out? So, you guys are in the back room of the three-legged goblin. Erelith has just left and sobered up immediately.
You were like pissed.
I'm not happy at all.
Dancing on the table.
You just took your buzz away.
Yeah, why? And now I'm hungover and I've got scabby tits.
Because she was fighting.
She was fighting topless.
Oh yeah.
Ross has got scabby tits anyway.
Welcome back, Lilith.
At least you've got an excuse. Ross doesn't.
Yeah. Ross is just, she needs to go to the bathhouse.
Yeah.
No, she'll infect everyone there.
No.
I'm not sure where to go from here now, because we got that. Well, we got the one kid out alive.
Scab, who is still just sort of with you guys. He's just sort of like eyeing you up and being like, well, the guy that broke me out left,
Can we go and take
and I'm
him
being
somewhere?
offered soup by these like raccoon men, and Lenora just sort of like tries to pour him a cup of tea, and he's like,
So that's
I
the
don't know what this is.
sorcerer's
Child, yeah.
With the dragon scales up his arm?
Yeah, he's got amethyst dragon scales from his palm up to sort of like halfway up his forearm.
Cool. We should probably leave him somewhere with someone, maybe.
How
Who do
about
we trust?
we take him
Lenora's
to...
like, I could take him to the wine house by water and look after him there for a few days.
If that's cool. I don't think we're the babysitting type.
It's a lot of sudden responsibility.
Or we can just take him to, what's it called?
Fine.
Take him to see, what's his name? The fancy one, since Archibald is missing.
Kezra.
I would not want to leave him with Kezra.
Yeah, but like, he's also very intelligent, so we could probably find out more about him. And he's got the guards all around him, so we know he'll definitely be safe.
I mean, he's got like book smarts, but he's a little bit scatterbrained. I get the impression. I
I
wouldn't
have
want
a
to trust him
feeling
looking
that he
after a kid.
might forget that he's even got the kid.
How old is this child?
About 12-ish.
Oh, I can look after herself.
Yeah, Kezra didn't even realise that Archibald had gone, did he? Like, that he hadn't come back.
He just
We need to
continued
actually
calling for him.
check as well. If
Let's-
Archibald's back at some point.
I think Lenora's got this. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be the best way.
I'll keep him well fed.
Maybe when we know a bit more, we'll meet back up with you.
I make eye contact with the kid. Like, do you like tea?
I vaguely remember it from.
You've got a lot of tea in your future.
Guess I'd better learn to like it then. And he just sort of looks up at Lenora and he's like, I've been in a crate for a very long time. I have to use the bathroom.
Oh no.
So she's like, we'll go to the wine house by water. The ones outside are rather grim. And then she like escorts him out. And you could just, at the last thing you see of this kid is just his face as he like clocks the toilets outside, and he's like,
Is he a fancy kid?
He's
like some scabby little street urchin looking kid as he
Just
stands.
like
He's
well
well spoken.
spoken.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just.
though, yeah.
I was gonna say, something's not
It
right.
could
there.
well be that he was raised in quite a, well, the fact that he does have a draconic ancestry, sorcery, within him suggests that, he may well have been tutored for, sort of controlling it, especially considering he was able to quite literally absorb a blast of magic and crush it like it was nothing. Like literally crack physical magic. So he's clearly been taught a few things. So it could just be that he had a bit of a traditional academic upbringing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. So,
Can we have a pint first? Because I'm rather hungover, so I feel like we need to have Hair of the Dog.
You need to get
it's
really
bad,
drunk.
isn't it? It's really bad.
You do realise I've had hangovers before. This is like...
No, but it's being just suddenly
Oh, right, yeah.
dropped into a hangover.
Yes,
What's the
that's it.
plan anyway?
Drink.
I mean, after that.
Something else.
So it's approaching 2 in the afternoon now, just for you guys to be aware. Or
Did
just
we
call it
miss
2.
the chariot racing?
That's a 3.
I think that Aerolith has the other crates covered. I think.
He did say he was going to the docks.
Meanwhile, he's at the docks just punting them into the sea.
Enough of this.
No.
Or he just got blown off like I did.
He's just sort of like neck deep in bird filth, like...
We go down there and it's just Aerolith's leg.
God.
Okay.
We'll assume he's fine. Don't worry about old Ravenwood. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve. His wizard sleeve.
Did you? Okay,
On that
Ross.
big sleeves.
Did anyone go check that guy about the tattoo shop? I forgot about checking.
We went
Yeah.
to talk to your contact.
He was useless.
He didn't. He watched the shop,
Not the guy.
not the people in the shop.
Okay. Wonderful.
So the shop has done nothing for a while.
That's good. It's
Yeah.
nice to know. Yeah. I think we should find him.
I felt bad, so I tipped him.
Okay, I think we should find him. So I can take the tip and the money I already paid him because he didn't do the job.
I mean, he did a
How
job.
Yeah, but not any job that
not the
anyone
one
paid
that-
him for.
Not the one you wanted him to do.
How explicit were you when you told him?
Pretty sure I said, watch the guy, not that one, the other big one. The one that leaves later.
Yeah, he literally stayed in the same spot.
Okay, wonderful.
Did you tell him he was allowed to leave the spot?
No. But why? I didn't say the guy is gonna stay here. Please stay still, do nothing, and watch the shop. Because it's not the shop that
I
was
mean, doing
interested
nothing
in.
is like the default, surely. Anyway,
I'm very confused. I just don't think that he deserved to be paid, and now feel like I should get paid for the hassle.
Well,
But in the meantime, what do you fancy doing?
Shrimp is on, isn't he, rather than Scrimp?
Yeah, he's still
I'll
sort of
get
rubbing his
around.
temples and, like, just sort of swilling his finger around a pint of ale because he's...
I'll get
just
a
too
round
much for
in.
the poor little fucker.
I'll get a round in and one for him as well.
Thanks, bud. You know when you guys told me, or you told the Borises to come here, why did you do this? I thought it was going to be cool. I thought we were going to have a cool, like, smoker's bar and stuff, but it takes so much energy to keep up with them.
they needed somewhere to go. We felt like you could use some extra hands.
Yeah, but
You and your dad seemed a little stressed.
I wasn't
Especially
stressed.
Dad.
My dad was stressed. I wasn't. Now I'm up to my fucking nuts in soup.
Well, yeah, maybe you gotta let him go. Maybe it's just not the right fit.
Would you want to tell them to go away?
Probably not, but I'm not you, so...
I think we might be from the same place, judging by how we sound.
yeah, that sounds about right, actually.
Boris, which one?
Did you just say which one?
Yeah.
They don't need bars.
Fine, Borisov is 5 ales and just a big old bowl of soup. Just a big old bowl of soup. He's like, coming right up. And Borisov has calmed down a bit now since he had that screaming fit. They sort of like get the slightly nicer ale from out the back, like fresh barrel as opposed to the dregs of this one. Pop him up on the little like window platform. Just a big old fucking bowl of soup with multiple spoons. And Shrimp looks at you guys and he's like, this is mine. I'm going to eat myself to an early grave so I don't have to deal with everything that's currently going on.
Okay.
Well, good luck.
Cheers, bud.
Let's sit down with our ales and discuss what we found and what we need to figure out.
Okay.
Is our booth free? Just looking over the
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
The last couple of people in here are just sort
We'll
of
just go
like,
over and be like, no.
Just
You
shift
don't
people.
understand. Move. Okay.
I'll do my usual slinking and going as close to the wall as possible.
So
just
we
the butt scooch along
I
the bench.
literally
like.
didn't talk then because I knew that you had to do that, so I
Yeah.
was waiting for him to say it before I
Yeah.
said anything else.
I'm coming like squeeze in on the other side.
So we've found out that there's people being brought in.
Yeah. By
I can't remember the mob.
The barrack mob. Or you assumed it to be the barrack mob, and so did Erlith.
Yeah.
So
But they're known for doing this.
collectively, these children will have a lot of magical firepower. Could the cult need that,
Are they just bringing them in as a massive bomb to
or
kill everyone?
or a battery?
Oh. They need them to power something, you think, maybe?
Well, we found that rock, and it had it was
the
a magical
stone.
conduit.
Maybe we should go and try and...
If it is the barrack mob, I don't think they're smart enough for that.
You said that they weren't smart enough for the metal
That's true.
magical containment units.
Are they like, big picture kind of people, or are they just like completely money driven?
You can make a history check if you want a bit more like information about them from my side.
Nope. 6.
Okay, so you know that they are basically they're not usually the man with a plan or the men with a plan.
Men with a plan.
Men with plan.
Yeah, they're very much a service for hire. The vast majority of the time, especially like the smuggling stuff, they will smuggle on behalf of the Petrocinis, like the drugs and the people. They'll smuggle weapons and armor and shit for the brass helms. They will fence cargo on behalf of the Silver Cats, so it's like very sort of incestuous gang related activity, you know. They all, one hand can't operate without the other type of thing. But that being said, you know of Gubsnick, Thrice Killed Barrack. Are you frowning because I said incestuous?
No.
You're just scowling at me the whole time.
Rest in skull face.
But yeah, you know that Gubsnick, Thrice Killed, occasionally has a bit of a harebrained scheme, but you don't really know much about it, other than like you've known of them in the past to be doing work that seemed outside of their normal realm of operating their shipping and delivery business. Because like I said, they've got a legitimate front as well. They get the mail delivered pretty well. But
I mean, even if they are just motivated by coin, as long as the people who are paying the coin have big picture ideas.
True. Maybe they're just fetching for somebody else. Maybe the
Obvi-
cult?
That's what I was
Obviously,
thinking.
relate everything Ken just said to you all, just so you know.
Okay. My knee-jerk reaction to this is maybe the cult is bringing in either battery or recruits.
I mean, we know very little about this cult, apart from that they want some people dead.
Against who, though?
So, who
They
knows
also
what they
do
could be up to.
weird magic. Like, that guy kind of bled fire when he died.
How long have we been in the city?
This is the fourth day? Fourth?
Fifth, if you count the day that we arrived, isn't it?
You arrived on early in the morning of the first day of the event.
Yeah, we didn't stay a night
Yeah.
before we went out.
Ah, yeah.
Even... We've been here 4 days and we haven't seen anyone that matches any of the descriptions that we've been given.
Nah. Something's, I don't know. They're good at hiding. Gotta give it to them.
Because we've been to the Undercity, haven't we? Not Undercity,
The
like the
slums.
low-level city, yeah.
No, we couldn't get down
Oh, we
there.
haven't.
We couldn't get down there. There was too many. There's like too many people coming in.
Yeah, and so far there has been no lead that would suggest the lower city. So like you've sort of gone, if anything, deeper into the upper city, into like the King's View, which is like the fancy section, and towards the palace a bit to the baths.
The only thing I can think of is trying to find some informants of the gangs to just see if we can pick information from them. Because they
I
used
don't
to,
like problem solving.
If they...
like they're used to doing jobs for other people. This seems too organised to be a job that they've just come up with themselves, right? So it seems to be something that they're doing for someone else. So we need to find who that someone else is rather than them.
Well, you mentioned it could be the Petrogenes. Could also be the cult.
Yeah.
So.
I know that when I worked, like when I come across them earlier in my life, they did a lot of stuff for the Petrogenes. A lot of stuff.
Maybe it's all connected. Whole thing. Or maybe not.
What was his name with the big cigars again? He was in the Silver Cats.
Oglu?
Oglook.
Maybe he'll have some fingers in all different pies we can look at.
We could talk to him.
I'm just thinking last time we went to the Press News did not exactly go too well.
No.
Just throw that out there.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, we pressed him pretty good last time we were there. He seemed pretty honest, too.
Yeah, he didn't seem to care about spilling the beans. If the
true.
beans indeed needed to be spilled.
And Aerolith thought fondly of him. I wouldn't think if he was any threat.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think he's a threat, rather that he may have something to tell us, someone to indicate us to, point us in the right direction of. I'm just thinking rather than before we get involved with the Petrogenes. We don't need to.
We didn't mention the barrack mob last time we talked to him.
Yeah.
Could jostle something free.
Maybe. I felt like everything was pointing to the docks and we didn't really find anything there.
I mean, I'm happy to go back down there and take a look around.
Unless the weird birds
We
had
didn't
something to do
find
with it.
anything there.
I mean, nothing.
Maybe the birds
culty,
were
You know?
a
There
distraction.
were kids in silver boxes.
I mean, yeah, but like, I mean, the spidery tattoo dudes, you know?
But also, we weren't really looking.
Maybe we were close, and then the
birds
bird.
attacked.
Whoever's involved may be thinking, shit, they were close.
And we know that the
Send
cult.
spiky feet birds.
Yeah, we know that the cult does freaky magic.
Freaky
Maybe they were
magic.
trying to protect. Yeah.
How about we go back down to the docks? Continue looking around
Well,
first.
I'm happy
Aerolith
to.
is supposed to be there too, so.
And
We're gonna
he-
go down there and he's gonna be like, oh, you people.
Maybe we check in with him once he's done, see if anything came to light.
I mean, You can still communicate with him, yeah?
I can talk to him.
Actually, he did specify that it was for him to find you lot.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
the enchantment
The
that he
clip.
put on it, because you used her as a lockpick. It just sort of sent him like brain scramblies. So
I mean, I can do... Did he tell me that?
he did say that he would
I mean, I
Yeah.
could...
He
You could
said,
just do
"Don't
it
use it
again.
as a picklock."
just scream into it and see what happens. Herald! Herald!
I mean, if not, we can just pretend that we're lockpicking again and
Put her in a
it
glass
worked,
and
right?
shake it.
And then say to him, well, maybe you should do it so I can talk to you too. And then I'll stop bringing it.
That would be useful.
He's useful, so...
She's just gonna start like pringing it on the table.
Aww.
Okay.
Just like ding, 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 like that horrible noise the
Yeah.
metal makes on the...
Maybe something happened. Like,
Yeah, error of the list. Just going, oh!
Yeah, he's in the middle of something really
taking out on
delicate.
some kid and just punts him into the sea.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Like, if I do something wrong, this kid is gonna die. And then...
just. Yeah, I mean,
I think
maybe something happened.
I think we should go back to the docks, just to see if there's anything we've missed now that it's all calm.
I think that's a good idea.
One more sweep.
But what if we go back and there's more crazy spiky birds?
Why were your breasts out
Oh,
when you came off the ship?
It's just hit him.
when I was leaving the ship,
They was the freakiest birds I've ever seen. That was the least.
when I was leaving the ship, the goblin king, he's not the king, the captain, pulled the string as I was leaving
How
and it
rude.
just fell off. And
Super rude.
tits fell out.
Real rude.
I don't
Very
think you
rude.
should... Well, he's
He's
dead,
dead.
anyway, so...
He's basically smoothie. He deserved it. So
He's paid for his crimes.
Okay.
okay.
I chugged my pint. And
Okay, yeah. Down the hatch and
I
head.
love how you
You're over there.
just like yes.
Yeah, I squirted it that way.
I was trying to think.
if you
Shit, how am I going to explain
if you
that?
want, you can
It was
start
the
rolling
birds.
deception against me, but you know.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't given you any reason to think that I'm lying.
No.
So
And like
Just
I said,
took him to a
scariest is
pleasure palace
surprisingly.
with loads
The
of
pelican
nail
with the weird baby hands under it.
yeah, like anything could have happened.
Yeah,
It fell off. It was scared. Ah, tits.
yeah,
That's my distraction mechanism. You know, like a little octopus,
yeah.
just
Inks.
squirts ink. No.
Yeah.
Ah, tits. I think it's fair.
Are you going to use that in combat now?
Yeah. Ah, tits. Just
Instead of
distract
casting
people.
like blur or anything,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, a
Well,
rogue
well.
evasion is actually just. Oh, boys! Woo!
Well, you know, if it works.
Sorry, my keys are falling out my pocket. I need to stuff them back in so they don't like fall out and jingle like fuck. Okay, so you guys are heading back down to the dock, yeah? Okay, yep.
Okay, let's do this again, I guess, and I'm just gonna take my pint and just be like, "Oh, did you hear that horrible click?" Sorry.
yeah.
That was probably really loud. Sorry, guys. Just like,
Yeah, Shrimp
Just
takes
down
it and he's
there.
like,
oh, I was down in it. What do you mean? We're taking my drink.
No, once you finish, like he takes the glass and he's like, you guys going to see the chariot race in a bit?
If we have time, we're
We're on a mission.
Okay, cool. I was just, I would say I might see you there, but like there's gonna be like thousands and thousands of people, so like maybe not. But if I do catch you there, have a good time, you know.
Sounds like an exact perfect reason why someone would
strange
go there to
request.
everyone.
Yeah,
What's
true.
up?
if we don't see you there, can you keep an eye out for anyone with weird spidery tattoos?
Not that one guy with the tattoo of the spider.
No. It's
He
not.
said he gets the read of like we've been through this. He's like touchy subject.
Anything that I've written down and like because I've seen some of this like symbolism and I just sort of show him from my notebook just anything like this.
Okay, cool. Well, I finish up in like a half hour and then I'm heading straight up to the Coliseum, so I'll keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out. but they might be dangerous to engage, so just let me know.
What were to happen if I saw one, and then I didn't see you for a few hours, but within that time, I don't know, maybe you say they're dangerous, they caused a problem, and I'm just I could have told someone, but I don't know, I don't want that on my conscience.
I mean, you could give him one of the earrings.
What's the range on them?
240 feet.
Too far. Has anyone got...
I mean, I will keep an eye out, don't get me wrong, but
Even a description would be useful.
okay, but if someone dies, and I knew that there was a bad person, and I didn't stop them dying, that's on you bitches.
Alright, well,
He
people
just
that die.
swills his pint.
We'll take it. It's fine.
He's he's starting to find his feet around you a bit now, and it seems that he's just been pushed a bit too far this week with all the drunks and now the Tanuki
Bless him.
and his dad having an absolute mental breakdown. Yeah, so you take the sort of 10-minute walk down to where you were at the docks, and you see down on that one jetty, Herald is there with an entourage of sort of a mix of guards and some palace official looking people, and just a big old group of kids, and every now and again as you sort of approach this jetty, some light glimmers off some of the dragony bits on these kids, so all of them as far as you can see have got some form of dragon mark. Quite a few of them are gems as well. Not necessarily, you can't see any more amethyst, but there's one where it just hits you with this bright, brilliant white that just looks like how light shines through a diamond. Remember the dice?
Yeah, I think... Never mind.
The shadow.
I think a droplet of water fell down and I thought it was a spider.
Roll initiative! It's good job, Jeremy the spider. I planted him there earlier to do this exact thing. And then you gave him the wink and he's just now. Woo!
Would with the children, would Briarleaf know any historically special children snatching stories? If that makes sense. That just came out all wrong.
You know the children that were snatched previous that you know about, were they magic? Any of them?
Make a history check.
Oh my god, 6.
Oh no, it looked like a D12 from you.
Oh, it was a D12.
It was a D12.
Aha! Can I do it again?
Well, yeah, I rolled the right die.
14.
I thought it was going to be another 6. That would have been...
That would have been fine.
Yeah, you can, as far as you can remember quite confidently, you don't know of any other specific, magic child snatching. You know of child snatching, and the occasional sort of,
So I wouldn't know, any reason why draconic...
You don't know anything
children
about
would
draconic. No. The occasional sorceress child may have been snatched up, but sort of accidentally, that you may have heard of through the grapevine type thing. But as far as you remember, the vast majority of people that were taken were either non-magical or grown-ass magical adults, or just had very minor capabilities without specifically being There was never a collection of them then, so to say. The fact that there are multiple... the fact there was even 2 in a room was weird. The fact that there are now more of them down on this pier is even weirder. So, this really stands out as just being new.
Up to my knowledge,
I'm just thinking aloud. You know, when we have all these people gathered together, would that not be a perfect opportunity to just attack everyone with said...
I mean, they were in...
magic or battery or...
They were trapped in a box.
No, I mean, by the people who were doing it.
Oh.
But I mean, hasn't there been big events all week and they haven't...
But every single event has had something happen.
Hey, the biggest event is still coming up.
Yeah.
When he presents the prince.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I try and...
And remember in the books, the previous books, when we went through that weird door and we went to the library, they didn't have anything past that prince. That prince wasn't there, right?
I try and get Errol's attention if he's not in the middle of freeing a child or whatever.
No, it seems like they're all free. There's quite a cluster of them. There's about 10 to 12, what you can see. He is talking to like another palace official, and there's a few guards tending to kids that are sort of like, from what you can see, they're either lying down or propped up against something, but given the fact that one of them had already died as they came out, you don't know if any of them are dead currently.
Right.
Because there are a few lying down, but from the sort of distance down the jet, because you haven't quite like travelled on to it yet. But just that sort of like moment, and he's just like, you see him turn around and like talk to a few people, and then like approach, and the guards and the officials stay with the kids. And he approaches, he's like, hello again. I got them all out.
It looks like you got stuff
Afraid.
pretty under control here. Good
Yes. job. 2 more didn't make it, I'm afraid.
Oh man.
I wasn't expecting to see 3 dead children in my house today. That'll wake you up.
Not to make things worse, but I've had a little bit of an idea of what might be going on.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I think that the cult has something big planned. And so you didn't hear this from me, but there's a rock in the cemetery that can act as a magical conduit. And it's made from the same rock as the tables.
There's a moment of like, not panic in his eyes, but there's a moment of like, the sort of passive insight you get off him is just like, oh shit, people have found out about the rocks. And it's like, lower your voice.
What?
So I'm worried that these...
What?
And I get in a bit closer and talk a bit quieter.
Yeah.
I am worried that these children are actually being used as a battery
Big rocks.
or a bomb.
My brain did go to bomb, but perhaps that's because of the conversation we had about your face being blown off. I talk somewhere quieter,
Tink,
and then
tink.
he just goes, and as he whips his finger, you're all just like in his study, like in the castle, in the palace, like everything. You can see that the door to this room is locked, but this room is magnificent. It is like clearly enchanted to be like height-wise extended. It's sort of like octagonal, so you assume you're in some sort of turret. It's like good old school wizard tower, you know. There's bookshelves galore. There's some corridors that lead off into other rooms that you can't quite see, but you get in like sort of glimpses of books or like potion racks, and you can hear strange like bubbling in a few of them.
I want to read everything.
Yeah, it is like your ultimate wet dream. It's like the most incredible. He's like, yes, sorry. This is my humble abode, if you can call it that anymore.
Nice.
I've spent-
Humble?
Yes,
Jesus.
it was humble when I started, but I got bored, and I ran out of room for my experimentation and my portal room and my entire bathing suite and everything else.
Wait, where are we? Where?
So, you know the palace, yes?
Yeah.
Well, the keep is sort of in the center of the palace with the stone monolith behind it. Yes. Well, we're in sort of like one of the little side wings towards the north part of the island.
So we're in the.
He just like opens this window, and the fucking giant monolith is like there. It's just like he's like it spoils the view. So normally, and then he clicks his finger, and now it's just like you're looking through into what is essentially looks like the astral plane, and he's like, that one's my favorite, and he points at this like black hole that is currently like sucking a star towards it, where like this star is like stretching and like funneling, and he's like, it's been like that for a very long time. But yes, and then he clicks his fingers again and he goes back to the pillar and he's like, I got very bored of transcribing what was written on the pillar, so I decided to put something...
Are we allowed to be in here?
Oh yes, this is entirely under my control.
Cool.
No one comes in through the door. Literally, either people come in through the portals if I allow them, or I do what I just did with you and bring you all in. So feel free to use it any time. I can give you my portal code if you have your access to your own.
I've not learned that
porting
spell
circle.
yet.
Oh, okay, yes. Well, there are some public ones throughout the world where you can. It's essentially basically like, you know, like the Stargate dial that locks in. It's essentially that, and you just sort of like beep boop beep boop, and it's like the portal goes whoop, and then you could come through. He's like, but I will know if you share it with someone, so don't. Cool. I shall whitelist you. And then he sort of just pulls out this little pin thing, and he's like, it'll have to be biological matter, I'm afraid. Blood usually works fine.
I put my hand out.
Yeah.
Just gives you all like a little pot with like different needles, and he like sort of like holds his thumb like this as if he's got a lighter, and like ignites the needle a bit first to sterilize it, and he's like, can never be too safe. He just takes these little like examples of your blood and pops them in. He's like, I promise to only use them for the portaling whitelist. I will not experiment on your blood. I did that once to an old friend of mine. He was not impressed. But yes, and then he sort of like tries to... He's one of these people where he wants to tell you everything about everything he knows and loves all at once. Like, this is his life and his hobby, and he's like,
And that's
fuck,
what
where do I
Cyrus is
begin?
waiting for. He's like, come on.
Yeah, he's like, where do I begin? So he's like, so that one and that one and that one and that, and he points to all these different doors. He's like, they lead to the libraries. They're on
Libraries.
Yes, I thought I built them big enough, but I have a very large collection. So
do you read all of them?
I've read most, I think.
Who has time for that?
There's an entire library dedicated to simple fictions, and I believe there may be a smut section that a friend put in as a joke. I promise you, it was a friend as a joke.
Sure.
Just as
But,
happens to have
okay.
got bigger.
Yes.
Since
I tend to read the scientific and arcane journals, etc., as opposed to the
I point to a shelf. And I'm like, you have more books on that shelf than I have.
As you point to the shelf, he just sort of like flings a book into your hand. It's just like some random collection of notes and scrolls from like a wizard long ago that is in a dwarven like rune tongue. But he's like, that's a rather peculiar one, because dwarves, as you may know, aren't usually arcanely gifted. Dwarves tend to have patrons or gods or some sort of divine magic, druidic, shamanic even, but tends not to be wizards, and that is probably why. That is the most abhorrent handwriting and the ramblings of a madman I've ever seen in my life.
I
Why
don't
does
read Dwarven, but
why does that ring a bell? Wasn't the poison bottle Dwarven alchemy?
Gnomish.
No,
Gnomish.
alchemy.
Yeah.
Damn it!
But he's like, yeah,
Don't we trigger it?
I don't even know. I'm so excited to show you all around. And he's like, there's alchemy labs that way, and he's like trying to orient her in his mind, because like this thing goes up and up as well, like, so it's just one tall tower with all these offshoots. He's like, alchemy labs, libraries,
Okay, but what?
bathing suite.
What did you bring us here for?
Oh
We are quite busy.
shit, I've forgotten.
Oh, somewhere quieter. Shh.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, the stones.
Magic
The stones. The magical
Don't
stones.
kick the magic rock.
he kicked one.
Magic rock.
Kick the magic rock.
He just goes whoop, and like a notebook and a quill, and he's like, "Tell me everything."
Okay, right. So I gave it a little, one of
No,
those.
first of all, we found it in the where it was in the graveyard, and it
He's
had
like-
weird
he's jotted
flowers
all
on
this
it
stuff.
over the top of it, green tulipy looking things.
It had
Oh.
done something to the.
Yeah, done something to these, just a patch of flowers. So we definitely did not dig up a graveyard to find it.
We did.
We dug the graveyard.
Yeah.
It was a flower bed. It wasn't a grave.
We weren't sure.
Oh, we've all done a bit of grave digging in our times. Don't worry about that.
So we
I
dug it
haven't.
out.
See, it's fine.
Oh, and also
Have you not?
He's cool.
there was a creepy owl watching us.
Was that you?
Oh.
That wasn't you, right?
We thought it might have been you.
We thought it could have been you.
Oh, like a scrying
Yeah.
like animal.
Or a
Oh, I don't
familiar.
use an owl.
Mm.
No. I tend not to use owls.
They definitely knew that we saw them.
Yeah, somebody was.
I think we may. I think we should have told you that sooner, actually.
They didn't see us dig it up, though, right? It was gone by that point.
No,
Yeah.
didn't I throw a rock at it?
Yeah, you
Yeah, we
threw a
threw-
rock
And
at
then,
it.
but it didn't do anything. It just looked at us and then.
Yeah,
it
and
flew
then
away.
Skedaddled.
Oh, and there was also a funny looking raven there as well, right?
Grizzlebeak.
Yeah, do you know about
Yeah, he was
Grizzlebeak?
cool.
I've not heard of Grizzlebeak.
It's because I
I
came
don't
up
think
with
I
that.
don't think he's our friend.
But
I
Wait.
think.
Okay, hold on. From the beginning. So, you're in a graveyard.
a lot of stuff happened in this graveyard, actually, come to think of it. There was a mud monster, too.
He came back.
Oh, you
Yeah.
found it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
dead
it's
now.
dead.
Did you dispatch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
brilliant.
We've killed that one. That's done.
And then there were the crows,
Yeah.
or the ravens.
Okay, so
And the
tell
one
me
that-
more about these crows.
They weren't very nice.
He
No.
didn't like us, and he just flew kind of up and then down and just poof.
What do you mean they weren't very... I assume you spoke to the crow.
I spoke to them,
What
and
did they say?
I can't remember. Help me
If
out.
you want a history check, I can possibly help you because I myself completely remember.
17.
Okay. The one thing that you all sort of went about was when he said,
Yeah, they don't-
long live the eventide.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was it.
I'm trying to get a name up because he has a bit of information. Well, that's it. He goes, the owl, anything peculiar about it?
Well, weren't the eyes a bit weird?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you
I can't remember in what way, though.
I think it was just like they were sort of like milky
Void.
glazed over
Yeah,
or something. Or,
yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
whatever it was, because I can't remember exactly, you say to him and he's like, oh, that could have been Archmaester Victor Leveus. He tends to like owls to use to peer through. I myself find them arrogant bastards.
What did you call his name? What was his name?
Archmaester Victor Leveus.
Well,
he
if
tend
it was
to-
him, he's seen us looking shifty in a graveyard.
But nothing more than
Wait, which graveyard was
I'm
this?
making spooky noises.
I'll
The-
kind of describe
The
it.
one
Yeah,
nearest
yeah.
to Kezra's?
Oh yes, that'll do it.
When
Yes, his wife is
when
buried
he
there.
saw that,
Perhaps he thought you were.
but when he saw that we were looking,
Why? What's
that
she
we
why is she
noticed
hiding?
him,
Why? What's
that's
she hiding?
when
I
he
think
flew.
she's dead.
I
Yeah, but
see.
what is he hiding that she's
He
hiding?
just doesn't
Oh, yeah, I
want his
guess-
wife dug up.
No.
Maybe he's just sad and he just likes looking, without going there.
Creepy.
I don't know. I think that's kind of nice.
I reckon she's still got shit we can nick. Just saying.
I mean, I can go and ask him if you wish.
Oh, I mean, no,
Well-
because then he knows where we've robbed him.
I mean, he's seen us. Anyway.
Only once. Didn't see us robbing anything.
You lot don't have to get caught. Okay, so with the crow thing, do you say what the crow said? Yeah. So he's like, "Long live the eventide." Well, that's the evening. What does a? Why would a crow want to have a long-lasting evening?
Crows like dark? Maybe they're not. No.
Yeah, but why did he
I
just...
don't know.
He just fun of... What?
Poof.
And then...
What happened when he hit the floor?
Poof!
Gone.
Gone!
Disappeared.
Like it was.
Long live the eventide!
It was almost as if it
Gone.
continued.
Like he was going into water, But
Yeah.
it was ground, not water.
And you sure this thing was entirely corporeal?
I mean, did
I
we-
I don't know what that
I don't know
is.
what that word means.
we
A
didn't
physical.
we didn't touch it.
It looked real.
I was talking to it.
Well, I can talk to my MK, but that doesn't mean it's real.
You what?
So, sorry, MK, the magically created artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
His eyes just lit up.
Okay.
He's like, I can show you that later. You seemed a bit intrigued by that. I'm sure you'd enjoy it. But yeah, that it's an artificial intelligence doesn't mean it's necessarily a corporeal form, even though I can talk to it. Perhaps it was an illusion. I can make illusions make noises. I'm sure some of you could.
Yeah, could
Yeah.
have been.
I mean, he wasn't happy with that, so everyone.
That's how we kept people out of the
I
graveyard.
mean, he was interacting with the stuff in the graveyard. Like I think he was on top of a grave at one point.
Illusions can do that.
Peculiar. Either way, I'm still hung up on this whole eventide thing.
What is that?
Is it like
Maybe it's the word.
an
it's the-
eternal night?
Is it a name
maybe it's
of something?
a plan. The name of a plan.
You say eternal night. You can see him sort of like doing these like calculations in his head, and he's like, whilst reading bones and tea leaves and all this other stuff, I tend to stick to true arcane scrying, but occasionally dabble in the shamanic, druidic variety of magic, and I remember very vaguely, and only remembered at this exact moment that you said those words, I remember hearing the words, the everlasting midnight, in my head. I think I was huffing smoke or something, maybe. I don't know. I will have to do some research on this, but... Okay, so... Mud monster, crows... owl.
Ow.
What about when you kicked the rock?
And I kicked the rock.
So...
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Back up one step. What caused you to dig? You said flowers. Green...
Green flowers.
They were
Flower.
very strange.
It was different to
And it was only in one
everything else
patch.
around him. Yeah.
They were growing in one patch, and we dug there.
We thought there was going to be treasure, but you know.
Yeah.
Huh. He like clicks his fingers again, and you're all just in the graveyard, and it's the sort of like portling sickness is starting to kick in a bit. You're like,
Oh, you got to stop doing that, man.
oh, sorry.
I'm already
disorientated.
Hold your breath and possibly. And
You
then he
already
looks
give
at
me
you,
a
and you can
number.
see that your eyes are gone a bit bloodshot, and he's like, pinch your nose and blow.
Oh, okay.
You do that, and it's just like this horrible. And then he's
You know,
it's
you
just
know
like a
you got
dizziness.
rid of
Yeah.
my.
And then he's like, yes, your eyes are
Good,
fine
good,
now.
great.
And then he's like, don't
Just,
tell him about the blood vessel.
Just a little bit of warning next time, okay?
Sorry,
Yeah.
friend.
I
So
need
you
to
know
sit
you
down.
you kind of made me not drunk anymore. So
Yes.
I'm quite hungover. So can you make me not hungover?
I haven't quite mastered that one myself yet. I've been meaning to. Sorry. And he's like, right, point me to these flowers. And basically, you're just like right next to where you were. Just like there's a gravestone, and then the flowers are like the other side of it. And he's like looking around. He's not really paying attention. He's like trying to look for himself. He's like,
Yeah,
Where?
and then I tap him, and I'm
He's
like,
like, oh, yes. And he goes, oh,
we didn't do a good job of... I know.
yeah. It's like it's just this perfectly like round patch of dirt with like these like folded over flowers. And he's like,
Did we
It's
even
like
bring
no
the
one
shovel
was
with
ever
us after
here.
we
I'm
left?
I
pretty
think
sure
so.
we didn't.
you know, it's just leaning against the grave.
We scattered some gravel over there. That was it.
And that was about it.
It's like,
It's like we were never here. See?
this is pathetic.
True professionals.
It's quite funny, I won't lie to you.
Yeah, but nobody would think to look there
He like
because
reaches
it
down.
looks
Hiding
all
in plain
shit, right?
sight.
Yeah, he reaches down and takes like a cutting of one of these flowers and puts her in like his little satchel. And he's like, I shall study this later. And you said under here is one of those channeling stones, yes?
Yes, but it's somehow been carved. And it's made of this stuff.
Oh yes. Hold your breath. And clicks again. It's now really starting to get to you.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
We're starting to feel like Thor when Doctor Strange keeps like
Yeah.
popping him around.
He's like, I'm awfully sorry. I've been doing this for so long. I barely walk anywhere anymore.
Lazy.
The beauty of all the magic in the world, eh? Yes. So the stones. So there was the. He's going through it all in his head, trying to get it.
Wait,
He's, like,
where's he
making all these
teleported
notes.
us to now? Back to the...
You're back in the tower, like in the center of the tower, and he's like, so.
Could you not have just magic the stuff we put over the stone away, so then you could have seen the stone?
I assure you, I know exactly what it looks like. The stones you are speaking of, the ones that you kicked, good choice. We shall discuss this momentarily.
He had a vision
We did try.
when he kicked it.
Okay, fuck the rest of it. Tell me everything.
Oh, yeah,
He's like
no.
back to his notebook.
I'll relay it all. So it
Yeah.
was standing in the weird
Yeah, the
city,
sort
yeah,
of like
but it was
vaulted
everything was scales.
chamber. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, that does corroborate with something that an old friend of mine said. I keep referring to these old friends. It's just I've been around a very long time, and everyone that I know is either dead or equally as old and senile. But like as he says that, you're looking at him. You're like, you look like 36 in human years. Like what the fuck? Like shut up, dude.
Is he an elf?
Ish, maybe. You get when you look at him, you're like, oh, that's a human, and then he says like a very long time, and then you're like, elf, half.
I thought I thought he was half elf.
He's a very tall gnome.
So yes. Where was I? The vision. I've never seen it when striking them before. I assume you gave it quite the punt.
It was
He can kick quite
a
hard.
pretty good kick.
And like he notes down like everything you tell him about the vision, and he's like, "There's a few of us in the academic elite, shall we say, that don't let this leave this room. Actually, don't let anything leave this room, or any of the rooms. So you know the city is, of course, built around these black structures of continuous stone, and the monolith behind us is several hundred feet tall. Well, truth be told, we don't know who built the city. We know who built the buildings here around the city. We don't know who built the black structures. What we do know is that they were particularly brilliant at, first of all, the arcane, hence the conduits, the mana channeling conduits that you seem to have stumbled on, that apparently had some juice left in it, which is rather interesting. We've not really found one like that for a while.
And nobody ever thought like maybe it was a bad idea to build on top of that? Some kind of
Do
like
not
bad,
blame me.
bad juju going on there.
Feng shui.
Some
It's
sacred
been
science.
the city
Shit is off.
as it stands has been here for several thousand years now anyway. But before that, we don't know where it came from. It was just here. When the island was discovered and settled by the original natives, they avoided this place with some deep-set superstitions.
But how did they get the runes on that stone?
That is also a question that some of the members of the university are trying to answer, because we cannot work it. There clearly were some very intelligent people who lived here before, who had some methods unbeknownst to us of doing so. But as far as we know, no one has ever worked these stones.
What about this? She shows you a necklace. You've
He
seen
just
it
sort of-
before, haven't you?
you can see he totally forgot about it. Like, this guy's a bit of a scramble at the best of times, but he just floats it up in the air and like rotates it and brings it towards him and starts floating. He's like,
Taking it off my neck, rude.
I was gonna say it's still around your neck.
Yeah.
but-
oh no, it's like it's just sort of like it's just sort of like
Yeah.
yeah, no, over the top, and he's like, I will not let this entirely slip my mind. I don't know how. I do know how. I'm
Part dead.
Yeah.
no,
That's
he's
what I
like,
was thinking.
he's like, I'm a scatterbrain at the best of times, but all of the
Bless you.
scrying recently and the experiments, etc. My memory is not what it used to be. Chronology is something I struggle with. I will not lie. Everything seems to be a jumble in my head, as though 2 or more streams of thought happen simultaneously at any given time.
So the necklace, Erlith?
Oh, yes, sorry. Thank you. I am honestly stumped by this necklace. We've not seen anything this small an example of the rock.
Where did you say you got it from?
Just always had it.
Well, that's not ominous at all.
There's no way you've
Like your
always
parents
had it.
gave it to you, maybe? Or...
I don't know.
Yeah, as far as you know, like literally
I
your
don't know,
earliest of
I don't-
memories is...
You've just always had it.
I've just always had it. I don't really... I don't remember my parents, so... But I remember this always being here. But always something that I've not got rid of.
Interesting.
I assume...
Like, even when I was, like, at my worst and I was, like, starving, I still kept it.
Peculiar.
I assume with all of this teleporting around, Gonk and Paprika have been coming with us.
Yeah, they are equally as
Okay.
dizzy.
Oh.
You wouldn't leave them behind. He loves them too much already. Yeah, I just assumed that either they're sort of like floating by you or just like clung to you somehow or on your wrist or whatever. Yes, the runes, we don't know where they came from. We don't know who built the city. We have been and are continuing to do studies on the buildings and the architecture. We had someone a long time ago have a vision of a vaulted hall, but they did not have a vision of another being or a silhouette of an entity of any sort, so that's new. I shall add it to the dossier on the rocks.
Cool. Getting
You're a
new
specimen now.
additions. Great. I love that. That's
Feel free to be a
fantastic.
specimen anytime. I'm always looking to get to work, you know.
Can I have my necklace back before you lose
Oh,
it?
yes. He just sort of like floats it back to you and puts it around your neck.
Thanks. I mean, you can have a look at it whenever you want, but, I just need it back, so...
Also, you said you lost 2 of the children.
Yes.
That wasn't anything to do with a ting 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 noise in your brain?
Oh no, I've been meaning to say about that.
I dropped it.
He sort of like pulls the pin out of your hair again, like all just telekinesis, and he holds on to it and he's like, "This was a terrible idea. I'm keeping this."
Oh, wait, you could give it back. Just make sure we can talk to you when we need you. Just, like, somehow get in contact with you. Rather than me being like, ping, ping, ping. I mean, dropping it. I won't ping it again.
She was just trying to get your attention.
He puts it like back in, and then he's like, He's like looking around. He starts like fuddling through all these boxes, and he just pulls out this pathetic little like brooch. Essentially, it just looks mangled and like it melted somewhat. Like it used to be probably some sort of high polished brass or something, but now it's all patinaed and crooked. And he's like, I entrust this with you. He like looks at Scarus. He's like, he sort of just walks over and pins it on the lapel of your new shirt, and he's like, do not abuse this. This is essentially, you can send me messages.
I'm gonna like go like right up to his lapel. Go, how does it work? Hello, can you hear
Not
now?
quite like that.
I'm gonna go over and just start tapping it. How about that? You getting that?
Ping, ping, ping.
I'm standing there like...
This is why I gave it to you.
That's
As
a
much as
stupid
I love the
idea.
rest of you.
That's also a stupid idea, because he's the one that always gets blown up.
Does it work like a
You're gonna
sending
have a hell of an
stone?
idea. Idea?
Sort of.
Idea. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, use it as you would, and I shall get the message, but
My dad was very good at those.
Hedges.
The rest of you and
Sending
magical
stones.
items don't seem to mix particularly well. Especially you, Lilith.
What? What?
I can still feel the nails on my soul.
Sorry.
I haven't done anything.
She doesn't bother me with this.
And you, Baxter, do you even know that the stick you're carrying is magical?
What, this?
No, the stick, and like he's pointing at the
You pointed
The
to
wasp.
that. What, this?
I know, I was pointing to the hammer.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's pointing
Yeah,
at
let's go with that,
the what is it? Did I say what did I say? Willowwood?
Yeah.
I think it was Willowwood. He's pointing at the Willowwood one thing, and he's like,
Oh, I never identified that.
What, this?
No. Yes. Do you have any idea that is soul magic that you're pissing about with?
Where did that come from?
I
don't know.
mean, what does it do?
He sort of, may I?
What did you say? Soul magic?
Yeah, sure.
He takes it and he just summons this like little horrible amorphous like amalgam blob thing, and he goes, watch. And he just like presses it on it and then goes, and just sets the thing on fire. And you can see this horrible purple and black twisting, roiling like smoke come up and just get sucked down the wand. He's like, it's just some sort of soul storage. I don't know the limits of it, but
I identify everything. Why didn't I want to identify that one?
Where did it come from?
It's the one that just
You asked
fell
me
out
your
of the
backs.
sky.
No,
It's the one that fell out of the sky.
yeah, Theus just went, enjoy the stick, and then fucked off.
disappeared when
I don't remember if you guys actually saw
when
that.
Jacob shit himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, where did this come from, Baxter?
it kind of just fell out of the sky. I think like a bird dropped it, maybe. Possibly. I was playing cards at the time, and the guy
Who were
was
you playing cards with?
one of the guys on that ship, and he got super weird for a minute. And then the stick fell, and then I don't know.
Did his eyes change colour?
Yeah.
It's your wonderful god. Yay.
Oh. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
What's his name?
Theus.
But now I got a stick, so I mean,
Please do not muck around with this. And
can I have it back?
yes,
Please?
he just hands it to you, and he's like, "For
What-
the
what is the-
love of
Don't
the
put-
gods."
Stop fucking
Right? Yes.
staring
Don't
at me.
don't wave that around.
How does it work?
I've
I
never-
don't know how to use it.
Yeah, I've
It's-
never done any soul magic before. Like, what is the purpose of the containing the soul?
It appears to only work on sort of lesser souls than sort of your animals and your magically created amalgams.
Can I get it out?
Put it down.
Can I get it out?
You're just tipping it.
Maybe. it
Hello.
most people would use said souls during larger rituals as some form of amplifying the length of the like the effect of the ritual or the intensity of it.
So do people die if they have their soul taken?
I use the term soul very loosely. The consciousness of a person, from what we can tell, will always sail the cosmos through all sorts of spheres and realms and realities and what have you. However, within this particular plane, in our mortal realm, our living, waking realm, each creature has some form of, not consciousness and not their being, but we refer to it as a soul because of some old scriptures, but how do I explain this without getting too...
So do people die
Into it.
or...
No, they're already dead, that's the point. This is the sort of...
So
the
can
last
we
part
catch a
of...
ghost?
No ghosts, no.
So it's-
So it's not a ghost.
No.
It's not a ghost.
Not-
Scarius is like,
Yeah. It's like, look, so
I
a
don't see the point.
a
in
mortal
ghost.
creature is split up into several parts. The physical body, the mental part that will go off into the cosmos, and there's smoke, for lack of a better term, which is what that is, which we refer to as a soul, but it's not the essence of a being. It's sort of the last.
Like a fart?
Are you
like
American?
Hello, fart?
Like a
fart?
Yes, I suppose you could call it a fart.
just
know
like
what
the
he's talking
fumes.
about.
I have no idea.
It's just the
So,
last
is
sort
it-
of
What if you put it
living
in?
essence of the
Put a second
person leaving their corporeal form.
So there's a soul in the stick, is what you're saying.
Soul, yes. There's no actual consciousness within it, no. There's just the sort of the ashen remnants of
So
a
then,
physical
does the
being.
stick become a person?
So it's like a
I-
pet.
No.
I think you might be
It's like a-
over-explaining
Freaking out.
when you're talking. No offense to you guys, but
What?
you kind of need to give just enough information with these people. I'm sorry. Like, you know when you say,
say that,
the
what are you
planet
talking
is a
about?
sphere? It's not actually a sphere. It's an oblate spheroid.
It's a what?
Okay?
What the fuck are these words?
So I just say it's a sphere.
I'm so confused. Why are we talking about
I
planet
could
now?
blow each and every one of your minds, and I'm pretty sure yours too. You know our
Bitch, I can blow
world.
yours. Wait.
He's just got this devilish grin where he's like, you know
like something.
how you say it's a sphere? It's only a sphere because mages all over the world joined together to make it that way, because it was originally not a disc, not a
He's really
plane,
Oh.
a...
Do you think he's a virgin?
Oh, definitely.
Oh.
I assure you,
I don't think he is.
I am not. So, there was a center of the world.
Stop fucking waving the stick at me.
Basically, the world is infinitely more big than we believe it to be, but we have deemed a safe area for everyone to live within.
Oh, that's nice of you.
And now
Deal with
see, I heard
Some of my
that that was a
fantasy on
myth
What's outside it?
that some people made up.
Can we
I
fall off?
swear I will teleport us to the edge of our known reality and show you what happens when you cross the border from one side of our planet to the other to
Can
travel
we?
around the sphere.
Do we fall?
Can we?
No, you will never fall. You can travel infinitely in a line and you will never reach the end of our existence.
So the Earth is flat.
No.
Okay.
First of all, it's not the Earth, just for like...
No, but
yeah,
Our planet.
no. Sort of like a saddle shape that warps in on itself.
Like a bean.
like a what's the D&D
Why are
equivalent
all-
of a Pringle?
So is the stick a pet?
You can treat the physical stick as a pet if you wish, Bax. I could possibly even bestow it a very
Patsy.
minor sentience. However,
Cool.
would you like an actual pet, Baxter?
No, I'm
Oh,
happy
he
with
wants
the
a
stick.
stick
can-
pet.
I would like a pet because Scary's took mine.
I
too would
go like
a
that,
pet.
and then Gonk just goes and crawls over.
I
Can have
rescind
Gonk?
the offer of the pets. I can see this is already going to be too much problem.
I gotta go and find
Scaris
a
is
pet now.
sat there just like with his eyes just screaming, "Help! Help me!"
I'm stuck with
Well,
these
okay, so
people.
like Briarleaf doesn't have any clue about magic, like other than the little spell here and there.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
I
do
don't
you,
know
Such a-
what's
do you
going
want
on.
Gonk or do you want Paprika?
Gonk.
Okay, no Gonk.
Gonk.
Okay.
That's it. Come out, does it?
Gonk.
Gonk.
Oh, okay, so you've got your flying one, he's got a stick, and I've got what?
You can have
You got the
Paprika.
cute pin thing.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but that is not cute.
I suppose I could let you visit the menagerie.
What?
The menagerie, like a zoo.
The stick's not cute. Okay, it's cool.
Yeah, but you want a cute pet or a cool pet?
Cool pet.
There.
So,
So shut up.
Sick.
would I be able to use the essence stored in the stick for a spell I was casting?
He's trying to pet your pet.
If enough was collected, you could possibly
Can't have it.
elongate
It's
the
mine.
casting time by some sort of, percentage of the standard time that it would normally last. Yes, it would possibly require quite a bit of it. And like
Okay.
I said, it's sort of like a smoke that leaves a physical form after it dies. But
That's a fart. Sorry.
yes, Brian Leaf.
No, that was
It's a
Jess.
fart bomb.
That was Jess.
All
Sorry.
right.
It's the fart stick.
Baxter has a fart stick. It's not actually fart. It's
Spread it around.
There's a bird stick. Put
You
the
know what?
fart
I'm
stick
not
away.
showing you the menagerie anymore. You're all very mean.
I was waiting for that. They've all got stuff.
I send Paprika over to fly.
I don't
in.
want that.
Man, I'm sorry. You just say so
bit
many
me.
words,
Did you just-
and I don't know what happened
Did you
to
just
me.
deny Paprika?
It bit me.
It didn't bite you.
No, I moved my hair. I moved my hair.
What's wrong with moving your hair?
Hmm?
What's wrong with moving your hair?
Shit.
Hickeys.
You know I can just zone of truth this whole place, right? So I suggest giving me an unfiltered version of what you're trying to tell me.
Okay.
I'll step back.
What's wrong with
I'll tell
moving
him
your hair?
if you want. She's part of a really elite actors guild.
Oh.
Performers.
She's just like this, you know, just like, I will end you. Like, just
He's like, I didn't take you for an actress, I won't lie.
okay, fine. And she just like pulls her hair away from her.
Well, and you like show him the
Yeah.
tattoo, and he's like, oh.
Oh, as if Aerith knows what a prostitute is.
Another gang sign.
He knows the city inside and out. You think the most obvious gang sign on a person won't be known to this guy? The guy who can see all, be all, do all. Like,
Man's gonna know every like sigil in the city.
he's just sort of like, I'm very sorry that you have had to deal with that.
Dealing. Dealing.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh yes, we met Adrian. He's an asshole.
Yes.
See, everything's real awkward now, right? You just had to pry.
Why did you do that? And now you won't give me a pet. See now, look.
I can do you one better. I can remove the mark.
No.
Why not?
I'm sure it'll allow you to hide easier, surely.
Yeah, but then they still know who I am.
Yeah, but you're not like branded by them. Why would you not? That sounds.
But they still know who I am.
Who does? Who actually knows?
But would they not know you if you didn't have the brand?
No, they'd know me. It wouldn't make a difference. Just put
I
it that
assume that your inner circle would know, but
way. No.
would the actual
Yes.
Petrocinis know?
Yes.
Well, I'm afraid it sounds like you're far deeper into this mess than even I can help with.
I mean, at some point, I'm sure I'll be able to come to you and be like, haha, get rid of it. But right now, it could be quite useful.
It has got us in some places.
Okay. Sensible. Alright then, menagerie time. Again, it's just that.
What were you going to say then?
I just forgot why we were here.
Oh. Come to the zoo. Come to the zoo.
You just sort of, you guys are in like this,
Oh, it stinks.
like, oh no, actually, it's very well ventilated. He's got those like little suction orb things that like remove the stink, and he's like, I was very particular about this.
You will have to teach me that one. That's amazing.
Yes, it's surprisingly taxing to keep so many of them up.
Does it? Okay, in my workshop, I've got a big dust extraction problem. Does that work?
It can.
Interesting.
My dice are glow in the dark.
Are they?
I don't know. Are they?
I think there's just a light
Just a
on
light,
them.
Jess.
Are you okay today?
I don't think I've got a
Spiders
mini
are
queue
making
with
my
actual
dice
glow in the
glow in the
dark
dark.
bits on, so I don't think that it is actually doing anything. But
Oh, your tattoo.
no, my mini that I'm
Oh.
holding in my hand that I'm hiding.
I was like, Ken,
Probably
your tattoo
fixes.
is not glow in the dark.
I fucking wish it was. That'd be cool. Yes. So, welcome to the menagerie. And he sort of like just gives you a really awkward.
More animals can
Ta-da.
we see?
He's got a specimen of almost any and every creature you can possibly think of, like ever. But this thing is fucking huge. But it's very much like a It almost looks like a prison. Not that I'm saying zoos are prisons necessarily, but the way that it's structured, where again it's this repeating, like almost like a cell block going up and up. But when you look into each of the windows or like doors or whatever that leads into them, they've got entire like biomes in each and every one of them that have been like sort of, you know, scaled up for the animal.
He's like Newt Scamander.
Yeah, he's Scamanded it, but infinitely more impressive and less of a turf.
Yeah.
There are genuine like full-on like savanna biomes where you can see all sorts of elephant-like creatures and big cats. There are displacer lions as well as regular lions, and other displacer beasts elsewhere. He's got like these tiny little almost like terrariums with dragons in, but they look full scale to this terrarium, and he's like, I had a lot of trouble getting them in there.
I like, to that one, I take Paprika up to the glass. And like,
Paprika has this like fear suddenly where he like starts quivering, because that is a full-blown black dragon that he has shrunk down.
yeah.
He's like, do not, and I repeat, do not touch anything.
He talks to us like we're idiots.
No. I tell this to everyone. One false move, and we could have quite the fight on our hands.
Like this?
Bax's eyes light up at those words.
Yeah, he's like, now.
You got a mega badge?
I pulled my arm in.
Do you
I
you
had
have
a mega badger.
Oh, come on.
How about we just leave?
What happened to the mega badge?
What about
You know,
the
actually,
other-
don't tell me. It'll just upset me.
It will upset you, I'm afraid.
Is there,
You want a
is there any
familiar?
dogs or like goats, like little goats? Like
Oh yeah, there's like a full-on like sort of farmyard biome that is just full of like goats and llamas and pigs and sheep and
Is there an old goat that coughs for no reason?
there is no.
Because it is behind my house.
I'm just.
Okay, why the fuck haven't you told me this before? Hang on, no, game on pause.
Saying that,
What
no.
the fuck?
No, right. So by
Oh my God.
by the garage by me, there's a goat and a sheep, and they just like chill together. But then behind my house, it's not an old goat; it's an old sheep that just like coughs.
Okay, next time we're over at yours, we are adventuring to find this goat,
All the lambs are out today. Yeah.
and we will
Oh.
put a fucking TikTok up on our channel of a coughing sheep.
They sound like people when they cough, don't they?
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah. But this one sheep just like bleats so loud that it like blows his throat out and then just coughs.
I love
You know,
that.
like a vocalist that hasn't learned to scream properly yet,
Yeah, or just some
and they just
pleb
cough.
like me who screamed so loud at a Cane Hill concert that his voice was gone for 2 days. Just woo, and then wow.
When you can't woo, that's when
Yeah.
you know it's
It's like,
bad.
woo, and he just cuts, and you're like, uh-oh, I fucked up.
I've got a high pass filter now.
Okay, time in.
Okay.
Um,
I just feel like that we're too clumsy
Anyway.
to be here.
Scary.
which is why I'm afraid of you going near these bits of glass.
Yeah, so can we go back?
Wait.
But didn't you want one?
Yeah, but surely you can give me something without us being here.
I was going to give you a few choices.
Scarius,
Are you
can we have
okay?
a goat?
To the point.
I don't mind you having a goat.
The beauty of having physical books right next to you. Oh, I love this place. I love this.
Welcome.
Okay.
I don't mind you having a goat. I've got these guys, and then point to Gonk as well.
I like Briley. She's not gonna make it known in case she upsets Elrith, but like she really doesn't like this place because she doesn't like animals being not able to do what they.
I don't want to be here. I'm too scared. We're really clumsy.
Also, just to like sort
Lilith
of.
just stood there.
So,
like this.
so really,
I
it's
know
your
that you said
survival
that,
instincts
like, as a
kicking
Yeah,
forward.
just
this
like,
is
no.
Herald, this is me. As the
If I touch the wrong thing in here, I will die.
Yeah, but also
Oh, yeah,
not
pretty
just me. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, even though they are technically in captivity, these terrariums and stuff are so big that they imitate their natural habitat better than their natural habitat because there's no intervention from like mortal races. There's no towns or cities or hunters or anything. It's just
I know, but
pure
but
nature.
you're fucking with their minds, man.
You fucking
Minds, man.
Okay, hold on, Stoner.
That's just
What?
like your opinion, man.
I wanna fight something. You got something I can
No!
fight? What, like something? You got like a nasty.
He's been itching for a fight for a few days now.
I sort of like my creatures.
Is there anything?
If any of them go a little bit, evil, then hit me up.
How about we go and fight
I mean, some of
mine?
them are literally inherently. You can go fight the black dragon if you wish.
Don't do it.
Go over and just look at the terrarium.
No.
Yeah, like this thing is like flying around and everything. Because like this terrarium again has got like a weird like filter on it where you look in the front and you can see infinitely through that way, but then you travel around the side, so it's just like a little fish tank, and then you can see infinitely that way, and like whichever side you're looking from, it's like almost like an eye in the sky looking around. And this dragon is wreaking havoc, just like swooping and killing shit. Like there seems to be some sort of like infinitely spawning sheep farm that this thing keeps just doing dive bombs on.
Oh, he's happy.
Was
He
like,
doesn't look so tough.
Can I have a goat, please?
Specifically, a baby goat in pajamas.
The cuffs.
A miniature goat.
Can we go back to the normal place and we just tell you what we want,
okay,
please?
fine.
Thank you. I don't trust.
But now each of you do get that thing again, and now it's getting worse. Whereas you hit the floor, your knees are like knocking, and he's like, "I assure you, you get used to it, but maybe we should hold off on the teleporting for now."
Sit on the floor.
And then he goes, "To be fair, the terrarium is," and then he just looks up one flight of stairs and points at a door that's like really not that far away, and he's like, "We teleported perhaps 40 feet." Sorry. Like I said, I don't walk much anymore. There are a few animals that I can get for you. However, with the caveat, they are just normal animals.
What animals are caviar?
No.
I'm just messing. I was just waiting for him to the eyes.
They are just creatures. I have no control over them. I do not wish to impose will on them. They are wild animals, so good luck trying to, coordinate it. But, that being said... Oh, also, if they die, they're dead. Rest in peace, Mega Badger. I'm sorry, Baxter. I can get you a cat. Or a crab.
Crabs are pretty cool.
I've had enough of crabs.
I have a few snakes. Lizards. Turn the page. Some small amphibians like newts or frogs or toads.
If
They
I had
will
a
just
frog,
be
would
a-
it just sit on my shoulder?
Maybe, but I cannot promise it because
It
you will
will
have
just be a
zero
regular
magical control over it.
frog.
It's just a frog.
You will have to train it to do that.
Yes.
What if it gets killed? You'd be so upset. We do some dangerous shit.
We do dangerous shit.
Yeah.
Okay. How about I just let you take away the...
Perhaps you can
sign
adopt
at
one
some
of them.
point?
And it's yours in spirit, but I will look after it here.
That sounds good.
Okay.
What's your favourite animal? Or beast? Or creature of the wider world? I have quite the collection. I'm rather proud of it. As you can probably tell.
A piglet.
Okay. You can
I
have
want
a
to
piglet.
name him Artemis.
You want to name a piglet
What?
Lilith?
No. Artemis.
Archimedes?
Archimedes?
Thank you.
You want a piglet named Archimedes?
Yes.
Who's Archimedes?
The pig.
Strange name, but alright. Can do.
Thank you.
Specifically a pig or a bull
No.
or a
A
hog?
baby pig.
Yes, but I mean like a baby bull pig, a baby pig, or a baby warthog pig.
Oh.
Oh,
Penny.
baby.
Oh, dealer's choice.
Have a look and decide which one you think looks best as Archimedes.
Alright then.
Which of these is Archimedes?
But also, I would like you to take away my brand at some point, just not yet.
Alright, yeah, that's
But
fine.
will that hurt? Is it
you
going to
make
be like a reverse brand?
phantom pains every now and again where it sort of itches in the shape of the thing. I
Is it
had
going to be
a horrible scar from... and then he has this moment where you can clearly see him trying to recall something. He's like, I do not remember what caused it, but there was a horrible gash along my chest, and I fixed it, but now I still feel the... And he's like, trying to counter in his head, and he's like, I believe it was a bear? I cannot remember. I really need to stop dabbling in such
But will it be
magic.
like a reverse brand? Because the brand really, really, really hurt.
Oh no, it won't hurt when I do it. It'll just sort of itch, and every now and again sort of like give you a little burn, like in the shape of it. Magic only goes so far these days.
Can you get rid of scars too?
Yes, it's just superficial. Do you need any?
No, just wondering, that's all.
All right. Anyone else? Yes.
Can I have the goat now, please?
You want to? Do you want to
I
arrange
want
it?
a goat, like by my side. I'm gonna name it Blukey.
It's gonna die.
No, it's not.
It's gonna die.
It's not.
It's gonna get killed
It
by
won't.
cultists or mud monsters.
Oh my god, it's gonna get
Or
sacrificed. That's
one
the
of
first
the
thing I'd
above.
sacrifice.
It won't. Don't you fucking touch my goat.
I'd sacrifice it though. That's what you'd sacrifice,
I'd
right?
sacrifice you over my
Rude.
goat.
I mean, I'm just saying that it's gonna die.
You frighten me, Ranger. You frighten me.
The goat is gonna run away.
Yes, you can have a goat.
It's not gonna survive a week.
Maybe we
Few
can
hours.
for the survivability of the goat, we can equip the goat with gonk.
Like on his back.
Could put the goat in armor.
How big do you want this goat?
I do have smith tools.
How big do you want the goat? I've
Say
got a
big,
large
say big,
variety of
say
goat.
really big. Say really big so you can ride on it.
I
Then
You
he
got my
wouldn't die.
blessing on that. That would be really cool.
actually really want a baby goat with pajamas just because I've seen so many of them jumping around on the thing.
I do
Goats.
have a breed of giant goats that are rideable.
Do that one.
It's essentially a horse,
Where are we
right?
gonna keep it though?
However,
Stable.
once again, I cannot magically bind them to you. That would be entirely on you to learn.
You're a ranger, right? You can magically bind rats to you.
Maybe go in and do the thing where you approach it slowly and place your hand on its
This is
nose
like
as the
fucking
sun
Harry
sets
Potter.
behind you, and you have a moment.
You've been
of
to too many
connection.
plays.
What? Is that not how it works? And then it obeys you forever because it loves you? No?
I myself have been working on the binding of animals to my will. Not just animals, but also celestials and imps and fiends and this and that and the other. You know the drill. You know how we wizards are. We get very lonely. It's probably because we're all so insufferable.
Yeah.
Sorry, sidetrack. So, you can have a goat.
I've changed my mind.
Okay. I just don't want him to die on your hands.
Yeah, I think it'd be very sad.
But can I have one and
Well-
keep it you?
Yes.
Can we
In
name
the-
it Blukey?
Blukey.
I can name little goat, big goat,
Little goat.
like a pygmy.
Yeah.
Oh, can I live with my piglet?
Yeah.
I think they probably already do. We have a breed of mountain goats that I've managed to selectively breed into pygmy mountain goats, which was a terrible idea. Because
But I will come-
sort of the point of a
You've got
mountain
way
goat is
too
that
much
if it
time
does
on your
slip
hands.
for whatever reason, it's got enough bulk to sort of absorb a blow, but
But I will come back
there was a
for
lot
it
of
one
very
day.
small
dice there.
pygmy mountain goats that fell to their death. That was a bad time.
Okay,
if you're not
I think
riding
we,
on
I
it, then
think
you
we're
lost
getting.
me.
I think we're getting
We've
sidetracked
been incredibly.
again.
I
Yeah.
love this.
We need to do things other than the fart stick and animals.
Well, what were we even speaking to him about? Why was it?
I wanted
Rats.
to. I wanted,
Luckily, time doesn't exist here, so
Oh.
I wanted to know if it was plausible that the cult was using these kids as a battery.
As a bomb.
Oh, the children. Oh, yes, 3 children died today. Yes.
But we
Okay,
saved them.
the children. We'll have a break there, and then we'll come back to that conversation. Bye! Welcome back.
Bonjour.
Before the break, we,
I waved
Basically-
at nothing.
Oh, I
the
did.
camera's
too.
not on yet. Yeah, before the break, we basically pissed about with Aerolith Ravenwood for a while. And we rejoin mid-conversation with Mr. Ravenwood.
Aw.
Sorry, Sir
Bloody
Ravenwood.
Got it.
Oh no, my caltrop!
I dropped
don't
my
wanna spend all of those.
C4 too.
Well, now I feel left out.
I'll drop you. Sorry.
I believe you. You've done it once.
Hobnobs.
Hobnobs.
That's one you don't understand. Though.
Never mind. So, Aerolith is sort of theorizing out loud with you about the possibility of these kids being turned into a weapon or a mana battery of sorts. And sort of starts the conversation with, well, to be fair, they were all sorcerers. Which, of course, as a wizard, I am first of all a little jealous. But secondly, completely the opposite of jealous, and they should be jealous of me, because I can just keep learning and getting better, and they're sort of like... We're not getting into that. What I was going to say is they could use wizards.
Did you just push one of your own buttons?
That happens more often than you think. When you're a very lonely wizard with no friends and only animals to talk to, and
Wait, are we not
plants,
your
to be
friends?
fair.
I
do
thought
talk
I
to
was your
plants.
friend.
Why?
Before you people came along, any friend I have had has either perished.
Maybe we shouldn't be friends with him.
Yeah, maybe not.
I do appear to be a bad omen of sorts. But
I look around.
I
it's
talk
like
to
lab and
myself a
everything. I'm
lot.
like, I'm willing to take the risk.
I talk to myself a lot, and I'm sure there are others that do.
Kids being
Balthazar looking at
sorcerers.
you.
Balthazar.
Shit, wrong one. Scarius looking at you.
My other red tiefling.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Too many.
That
red
also met
tieflings.
Aerolith that one time.
Yeah.
I love it when that happens.
Hey, I called my...
You know what? No, fuck it. We're rolling with this. Hang on. He says Balthazar. You're like, do you mean Scarius? And he's like, oh yes. You remind me of someone. I must admit to you, I have a little bit of problem with time. All of the sort of time bending I have done, and time stopping, and all other time related things, I appear to be all out of order in the chronological sense.
Okay, so
I-
I wanted to bring this up with you before, but I think we've seen you once in your future.
Oh dear. How is this? What how did you...
You always hail.
It was, wasn't it? Where Aerolith looked older and
Yeah.
his armor was more impressive and... But when was that? That was when we went to save you from chaos?
This is when yeah.
Yeah?
Jess, what did you
Uh,
say goat was called?
Blookie.
Luke.
Blukey.
was it? So the first time you saw him, he looked younger than you'd ever seen
Mm-hmm.
in previous characters. And then I don't think you saw him in Chaos, did you?
No, we
No,
saw him
so-
out. He held the portal for us,
Yeah.
and I thought that might be the time.
I thought it may have been when you went forward in time. No, I thought you found one of his books.
Yeah.
Have I forgotten something entirely?
This is when I wasn't here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wa-
remember it when I watched the stream back then.
Oh shit, maybe I've forgotten something and just haven't noted it correctly. But
I might be getting things backwards then. I might be thinking that you've seen him younger than he was.
I remember when we first introduced him in the Chaos episode, I said out of sort of game that it's younger than you have ever seen
As
him
in-
as
as
players.
players, yeah.
As players. But then also you did find one of his books in the future timeline thing.
Got
The
you.
library.
Yeah, in the library.
Got you. Yeah. No,
So he's
I've just
Yeah.
I can't
mixed those
remember
two
any of
facts
this.
together. Then.
Okay,
And
that's
I was
fair.
there.
That's understandable. But he's like, I've been to many time periods of our existence on this land, and I've gotten a little bit lost. I seem to have settled here for a while, which is nice. I've made quite the life for myself as an aide to the king, and have managed to study, all of these things. But, you see, this tower here isn't here.
I was beginning to suspect.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Technically, we are within the palace of King Cathard. On a real technicality.
Are we in like a closet somewhere?
No, we are in the seed of the world. It's an island. I've got it down here somewhere. Hold on. Let me get a map up for you so you get a
I thought you were going to say we're in
reference.
someone's pocket again.
I mean, we could be.
It's marked down as just the seed, but another one is seed of the world. So, on the map, you guys are on the island of Bedrick there.
Mm-hmm.
The seed is there. You guys have been to the seed before. That's where Charpire is.
Yeah.
So that, as you know,
That's
as
where
characters, is where
Balthazar was.
yeah. So that's where Balthazar was, but also that's where the new gods created a sort of like no old gods allowed club, where they essentially physically created their own like microclimate and their own island, whereas like the north of the island is snowy, the south of the island is deserty, mimicking the world but just on a much smaller scale. Like it's very common knowledge that the gods physically created this land and they now live there as avatars, or so people say. But he's like, I'm not sure I've ever truly left this tower on the seed of the world. It's a very long and confusing story. Perhaps you'll meet a different version of me at some point. It's very convoluted and I'm not entirely sure how it works properly yet, but I seem to have settled for now, so to say. But if you were to physically leave this tower, which is impossible, you would be on the seed. However, because of all of the magic, smoke and mirrors and
Gang
teleportations and stuff, we are on Bedrick in the city of Kairut in the time period of Elf King Cathard.
Okay, so back to the kids.
Bax just walks off and is like,
Oh, yes. Good lords, I keep getting sidetracked. I'm awfully sorry. There was just a moment where I had a memory that was not yet to happen, and I got all mixed up with who you were, and I apologize. But Scarius, I'm sure you know that people like ourselves that tinker away in a workshop for a long time talk to ourselves and think out loud. So yes, sometimes we do push our own buttons. I'm backtracking the conversation. Children, mana batteries, probably being used as mana batteries only because young, inexperienced children have a raw power that is untapped and unmatched.
We saw.
By even greater sorcerers, once they have control over their magic, something changes. They become less supple to the movement of the arcane winds, shall we say, for lack of a better metaphor. But they probably took the children because children are easy to take, compared to a fully grown sorcerer that could properly fight back. So perhaps that's why there are so many of them. I just truly hope that we're wrong.
Can I ask your honest opinion on something?
Always.
Do you think the king and the prince are in danger with these sorcerer babies?
Perhaps. I didn't want it to be true, but it may be. I am afraid of the movings and the goings on in the city might be leading towards the death of more people.
So we're in the palace now, right?
Technically,
Technically.
yes.
Could we just go and, warn somebody? Maybe?
I would say yes. I have already told the Brothers Vile, as we call them, General Vile, who I believe you've seen at the jousting, the large Goliath man, and his brother, the sort of protector of the city, shall we say, the elite of the King's Guard. They already know, and they are telling people that they need to tell. We have contingencies in place if things were to happen. We do not wish to tell the king for a few reasons. One, he's a very, very angry man. He
Hungry.
And he's hangry as well.
No.
He led the conquest of the Eastern Isles. He is a vicious, for lack of a better word,
Do we all
bastard.
know what that is? Would we all
Yeah,
agree with it?
you're on one of the the main Eastern Isle, but it's
So, if we were to say to you that we may have
Bedrick, Virik, Inric, and Maltrick.
travelled somewhere, and it appears that the son of the king, doesn't exist
Sorry, what?
In the history books.
in the history books.
What? Well, of course he doesn't exist in the history books.
Future history books.
Oh shit. Wait, what do you mean? How do you know this?
So we went to a library,
The library up by the temples.
Yes.
That one.
and we went inside, and
We went
everything
inside.
changed.
And we were in the same library, I think.
But
just wet and much further ahead than we are.
Than now.
Like in the future ahead.
You can see this is like proper Skadim. He's like,
Things were real old. There was a floaty thing with a
I-
big eye.
We found one of your books.
one of my personal notes.
Something that you wrote.
Did we keep it?
I think so.
Yeah, Lilith
Yeah.
mentioned it. I think one of you may have kept it,
I
if I'm not
think.
mistaken.
I think that
I think
the guys
yeah.
kept it because I had got myself kicked out
Alright.
at that point.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
think
like,
I'm pretty sure
Whatever
I
you
got
do,
it.
Oh, hold
if
on,
you
yeah.
do have a book that was written supposedly by me, and you found it in what you believe to be the future, do not touch it, or let me touch it, or get it out. Baxter, put it away. What have I
Sorry.
told you about
It's
paradoxes?
called The History of the Chromatoskins.
Baxter, what did I just say?
I wasn't listening. What did you say? I'm guessing you don't want it.
All we have to
I'm
do
gonna put
is
it
make
back in
sure
my
you
bag.
write that book.
Starts
You have
today.
to write the book about.
So if you just take it and read it, then
No,
the work's already done. You
but-
don't need to
Oh
this
no.
This is why you shouldn't give him anything
just
other
copy
than a
it
flat
out.
stick.
Copy it out, and then you don't even have to think about it. That would save so much time.
Yes, but
and
then who
research.
wrote the book, Baxter?
Well, you did.
Yes, but if I copy it from myself, who originally wrote the book?
What?
He did.
You
When?
in the future
I don't think that works.
when you wrote it before, but after. But
Thank you for making me an author, I suppose.
So is it common that there are like pockets of time in town?
Unfortunately, getting more common by the week.
Well, apparently,
Not specifically the town, necessarily. They do pop up everywhere, but there seems to be an awfully concentrated amount of them within this city at this time.
I went
And
out.
now I have to write a fucking book.
Do you want me to
On
just
the-
leave
On the
it?
fucking... The chromatoskins. Of all creatures I could write about, you want me to write about goblins?
Just gonna put it there, and
Orcs?
just like on the very edge of his desk, and I'm just like pushing it a little bit closer.
Scariest, take it from me right now before...
Gonna save
I
so
lose
much time. If you just copy it out.
We're going to lose so much time if I were to so much as look at that book. And by lose time, I literally mean time will bleed and things will cease to exist. Possibly you,
Speaking
My sweet-
of.
stupid boy!
Is that bad?
Okay. Speaking of losing time,
Take the book.
I take. Okay. I went outside on the second floor, and it.
Well, first if you mean
Yeah.
Britain first. Yeah, American second. So wrong.
And it kicked me out, but back on the ground floor, and we had lost no time in between.
Perhaps an aftershock of Bax's whole fiasco. Perhaps something more nefarious.
The thing that worried me the most was the fact that the library had very obvious signs of severe flooding.
Oh,
Up all the way up to.
I forgot.
The
I read about that when you weren't in there anymore.
what do you mean?
What did you read?
Well, I just read that it was called the Big Flood, right?
The big flood.
Yeah.
The big flood.
I sure as hell's hope that if there is a big flood, they would name it something far more creative than The Big Flood. However, that being said, I know a few authors, lazy bastards. It better not have been Kezra. Either way, I am afraid that whichever bubble or line of time that you ended up trapped within is some sort of twisted version of our own future.
We were attacked by what
can
seemed
see-
to be a beholder.
You can see him like twitching his eye and like his neck goes, and he's like,
Has this got anything to do with the whole thing?
The cult.
And the Big Crab.
Maybe.
I am getting memories, I suppose you could call them, of a time of great strife and flooding, and there is someone in the city, as we speak, invited to King Cathart's side. Amloth is his name.
Mm-hmm. We know I'm lost, don't we?
You
No.
don't. John Finch does.
Oh, that's why I know.
He's like, I have a memory of a great and noble man who died in a flood. But he is here and alive in this city as we speak. Do you see my apprehension and confusion? Perhaps we should put the time talk on hold for now and stop speaking of our own futures, lest we cause the entire fabric of the universe as we know it to cave in on itself, and focus on these children.
But before we do you know of any like groups or cultists that seem to dabble in time magic?
I shall bloody hope not. I once read a book.
But do you know any cults?
Hold on. I promise you I am on track.
Okay.
Context, my dear, context. I read a book about the old gods and some of their cults. And it was prophesized that before a cataclysmic event of sorts, that there would be time of renewed faith in the old gods. I am worried that we may be on the cusp of said faith being renewed. Because not only recently have I stumbled across a doomsayer talking of the end times and an old god rising to destroy the plane that we live on, but now talks of cults and children being abducted for what appears to be a mana battery purpose, it's starting to lead down a very frightening path.
Yes, Aerith, darling, but you misjudged my question.
No, you.
Yes, you did.
You did not read between the lines.
But I was looking
I
for
know
a
not
yes
of
or
a
no.
specific cult,
Right.
but I am afraid that the cult that you are referring to are the ones that are the omen of the end times.
So they do time magic.
Not specifically time magic, but if it is old god magic, then time is irrelevant.
I've lost my own question now. I don't even know what I was trying to find out, but thank you very much.
Do you think... So there... You said time doesn't pass.
In
this.
truth, time doesn't exist.
Okay.
But
Let's not go down that staircase.
That helps. That means we haven't yet missed the chariot racing?
correct. I can take you exactly to the start of the race.
I'm just thinking that that's
Do
truly
we
a
think
place.
that there will be a lot of people there, including cultists?
I'm just
If
thinking.
I was a cultist and I wanted to observe people and behaviors and...
Shrimp said it would be thousands of people there.
Does the king
Oh,
watch
yes.
the chariot racing?
usually, yes.
Outlet.
It's one of his
Every time
favourite
we've
sports.
gone to something, one of these events, something has happened. I'm just wondering
Which
if
events
this
have you been to?
Mud wrestling?
Mud wrestling.
Okay,
Big
that
Mad
was
Monster.
That
okay,
was
but
Roger.
that seemed to be a lone operative. However, the jousting, someone did get assassinated with poison. Have you been to any of the others?
Archery?
Archery?
I don't think
What
anything
happened at the
there, actually.
archery?
That was
We had a nice time.
yeah, that was a good.
And
that
the
was a good
pie
day,
eating
actually.
contest.
And did anything happen at the pie eating contest?
I lost.
Yeah.
Who won?
You?
I thought it was... I was you.
It
You
was,
won.
Yeah. It was.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What did you think of the apricot pie recipe?
It was pretty good. You know.
Yeah, Dresdemina makes a fine apricot pie.
I'm more
She-
like a meat pie kind of guy.
I see, yes.
But it's good, you gotta have something sweet mixed in there. You know.
I would
I'm
very
just
much
thinking
like
that it'd be a
he summons a
perfect
pork
place to-
pie and he's like,
It'd be a perfect place to attack people, right? Each time we get in
with a
somewhere.
mouthful of pork pie, he's like, "Pork."
So like,
What do I do with my drink?
Can you?
so this is gonna be
what do I do
the,
with my pork pie?
this is gonna be the next biggest one to when he introduces the prince, right?
Actually, the biggest one will probably be tomorrow. The Erilith Ravenwood's Test of Champions. Contest of Champions. I can't remember what I called it.
Is that like a tournament or...
No, I can't give too much away, but sort of.
I mean, he wants a fight.
Yeah.
There will be fighting, but
Nice.
luckily there are 4 of you. Because there is a tournament bracket specifically designed around teams of 4.
Okay.
And that is all I will say.
I'm just
Let's get our strategies
okay. Other
together.
than that, I'm just thinking. So if you think about someone who's going to attack people, they're going to attend these things as they get bigger to see escape routes, and I'm thinking as I would think, right? If I'm somewhere and I need to steal shit or do something that I shouldn't be doing, then
You like to scope out the area.
I like to
first.
see what I'm doing.
Yeah, so maybe we need to be
first.
there just in case.
Are there any
happens.
events in the same place as the chariot racing?
The Test of Champions.
Okay.
It was the only venue big enough that didn't involve me completely creating a new one internally within a building magically. You get the drill.
So if a cult wanted to do something, you're thinking that they would scout it out the day before at a different event?
Maybe place things that they need to place?
Although, that being said, before you hold that thought, that would be the most condensed in a building, arena, whatever. However, the Kevin Lemongrass's meta game or meta shame is watched by people all over the city, there are great holograms cast up into the sky.
So if they wanted to get the message
a lot
out,
of people go out into the streets and gather en masse, or they... Have you not seen the hologram system yet? You seem surprised. Hold on. And then he clicks his fingers and disappears, and you're just left in this, like, tower for a moment. 2 moments.
I try and look immediately to just see how he catalogues things.
Okay.
So I'm like looking at like cards or whatever cards he's got on it, and I'm just like I'm trying to figure out his systems.
Make an intelligence check.
Okay. 22.
Well, you're about to lose a lot of respect for Herald, because there are multiple cataloging systems that don't necessarily all line up. Some seem to be organized as sort of most recently acquired. So just sort of piled on a shelf, which seem to be intermediate shelves that move then onto organized alphabetically by author. Then other shelves organized alphabetically by book, not author. Some are within genres of, like, you know, sort of schools of magic or schools of, like, geology, geography, all this sort of stuff. But then some of them are organized not within a school, but around a concept, where it's like, I need to think about, you know, this, you know, a lodestone. So there's books about geology and magic and this and that all in one. But then some of them are, like, cross shelves. So, like, this bit is alphabetized, specifically, like, around a subject, but then the next shelf will be color-coded around the same subject. So it is very much the eccentric man's box of Tupperware, you know? It's just, like, he's got boxes within boxes that are all subcategorized, and it makes perfect sense to him, but you were reading it like, fuck! Why? Price assorted by highest to lowest. But yeah, he pops back and he's got like a little it's like a circular disc with from sort of like 12 and 6 then these little rods that then perpendicularly come up, almost like little aerials that have, I can't remember the name of them, but you know, like the sort of electrical ladders that jump up between them. It's that, and as that ladder pops up between the two aerials,
you get an image.
It creates an image around it. He's like, I will attune this one to McKay. One moment, and he just goes, presses like these different parts, and like is doing all this sort of voodoo hand bullshit magic, like, and then a voice comes through, and this,
I hope that he actually made the noise.
Yeah, this like what essentially looks like a brain forms around it, but you can see it around it as a 3D projected image that is like a lilac-y blue, and the voice goes, "Greetings, Master Herald. What may I assist you with today?" And he goes, nothing at the moment, McKay. I just want to show my friends the holographic capabilities that we have designed." Then he goes, "Oh, all right then. Would you like me to catalog them for you?" And he goes, "Names, races, and date of birth only." And he goes, "All right then." And then there's just like a beam that shoots out from this like thing and just basically does like a scans you, and he goes, "Oh, Scarius Var, son of Var family of Rook's Nest. We have met before when I was more primitive. You may not recognize my voice because I have a new voice module. You may recognize me as this voice module." And he's like, Herald is like, "Oh, I hate that. Hold on so much. Why do you think I upgraded it?" And he goes, "McKay, new voice, please." And he's like, "Sorry, Master Herald, I was simply trying to prove a point. You may know me because I was, and then he goes, hits this thing, and he's like, I assure you that was the hologram and not McKay. McKay is flawless. And he just goes, was.
Okay.
Was what? Was
Was.
what?
And he's like, presses the button, like the off button, and he's like,
Do I recognize it?
yeah, you recognize that one of your father's acquaintances designed an intelligence that he referred to as Rodney. Yeah. I will be honest, I named this thing, like, I came up with McKay first, the magically created artificial intelligence, and then I was like, why do I recognize the name McKay? In Stargate Atlantis, there's a character called Rodney McKay, and I was like, too good, too easy.
Yeah.
But you know it as Rodney, and it was the sort of brainchild of a father's acquaintance that he seemed a very eccentric and secluded old man that would pop by occasionally and drop your father off some like stuff and buy things from him, but it was just always this odd old man that would occasionally just rock up with this fucking strange robot looking thing.
Yeah.
Because basically this intelligence that has recognized you currently seems to just be this sort of amorphous image created of a brain without a physical form, but you do remember it being crammed into a like primitive clockwork automaton almost. But Aerolith is like, that's rather strange. First of all, cool that he recognized you. Secondly, he doesn't normally do that. I should probably go and check on McKay.
Just a second.
Yes?
So you knew of my family even before we met. You knew of the Vars.
My God. Well, it seems McKay does. I think yes. I believe I've heard of the Vars.
Did you make McKay from scratch?
Yes.
So, was it called Rodney before?
No, why would I call it Rodney? This is McKay. The magically created artificial intelligence. It's just a simple
There was a
abbreviation.
person who used to come to my dad's shop for random odd jobs. But they used to bring Rodney with them, and it was a clockwork artificial intelligence. And
Why would you limit the capabilities of an artificial intelligence with a physical form of a clockwork creature?
I mean, it's prototypes.
Wait, hold on. Where are you from?
Rook's Nest.
This makes no sense. I created McKay. I think. Yes, no, I created McKay. And
McKay had memories of, and that sounded like Rodney to me.
I'm going to go and have a word with McKay.
You just getting this like all out of time, like you said before? You just mixed things up? Maybe it was you, but like...
the
No, this is
person
a
who
rather
used-
recent invention of mine. Don't get me wrong, the holograms have existed for quite some time now, but McKay is specifically my own design recently.
The person who used to bring Rodney over was quite old.
Maybe
Okay.
Rodney's a later
Now-
version.
Yeah, do I think that person could be Aerolith in the future? As in, I'm starting to put like facial features and this, that and the other together.
It's plausible enough. Like, you get enough of a memory where it's like, I mean, it was like a Caucasian male, roughly the same build, maybe a little smaller. Like, was bearded with fairly long hair, but this guy had like much greyer, whiter hair, and Aerolith's is more like basically mine, but slightly lighter at the moment.
Does McKay suffer from the same sort of future memories as you do?
Well, it shouldn't. He shouldn't. That would be impossible. he doesn't have memory. I suppose he has memories. I am going to go and have a conversation with the intelligence and do a little bit of tinkering.
Cool. Can you drop us off at the chariot racing,
That's what I was going to ask.
please?
Before we go, do you think that any of the the gangs in town would be related to this, like passing back and forth kids, or someone who would want to take over, or
Well,
like
I wouldn't put it past any of the scum in
yeah,
this
but
place.
which ones would
Well, they all have their own
the
reasons,
power
of
to
course.
do it?
Well, they could be put to use as weapons by the brass helms. They could be used as mana batteries of sorts by any of them. They could be used as slaves of your chosen unsavory variety
You know,
by the Petrocinis.
you know the boxes
Yeah.
that
Say
they
it
were
like it's my
stored
fault.
in. Like they're obviously.
That's
quite...
not the barrack mob. That is
Yeah.
far too advanced
No,
for the
but-
barrack mob.
I didn't even.
No,
Let
he's
me
thinking
finish
out
my
loud.
question, Erlich, okay? So. Fuck! I forgot my question. Balls. It was a good one as well.
Oh, I am
How
sorry.
infuriating is that?
Was it how much wood could a woodchuck chuck? A woodchuck could chuck wood.
So if
The thing is, that was literally an encounter that me and Jess have on a regular basis. Like, Aerolith talking over Briley
No,
Flynn
I
is
got
just us.
it.
Okay, go.
Okay, go. The boxes, they're obviously high magic. So, like, have they got any... Like, would you know of any wizards or anything in the area?
That's the thing. They are the opposite of magic. They are merely a channel for or a blocker of magic. Wizards tend to avoid that metal altogether. The word was there. You know that I forgot it? It begins with a D. And he goes on like this bit of a thing, and he's like, I looked up later.
The metal.
We'll call it Dettol for now.
Dettol.
are you
Bollocks, it's right there. Anyway, no, so wizards probably wouldn't want those boxes, so
Yes,
I
they're
can't
toast.
imagine wizards were the ones
Needs
to
to lie down.
do it, because
too much pork
getting
fat.
too close to them for too long as a wizard, on the outside it tends to, or at least if you have some of this metal, it will seep into your blood and, first of all, drive you round the twist. Secondly, will start to draw from your magic sources. It,
Okay.
as a sorcerer, it will suck it from you as...
Okay, how likely do you think the Petrocinis are involved in this?
Well, they do smuggle people
I know they
around,
smuggle people, and I don't know why.
so I would say quite likely. The barrack mob are clearly the ones that are moving it. The brass helms probably less so, and the silver cats even less so than that. Those tend to
Right.
actually maintain some level of law and order these days.
So we could put a safe bet that the barracks, the Petrocinis, whatever this cult is, they're probably all involved.
Could well be.
They're all in
Perhaps
some kind of weird little.
either there is some sort of overlapping diagram and the middle is a select few from each. Perhaps the barracks are completely oblivious to it, like they usually are,
And
let's
maybe
face it.
just selling people. To
And just moving cargo, because they tend not to ask questions, so maybe they're not involved, but the Petrocinis and whatever this cult is, the cult could be entirely comprised of Petrocinis, or nothing to do with them at all, and the Petrocinis are, again, completely blind to what is going on, or not even involved at all.
If there is overlap, do you know of anyone in the Petrocinis that would likely be in such a cult?
I assume Adrian and his fucking horrible.
Oh, the psycho
Brother.
brother, yeah. What check would this be?
Not
I
great.
suppose history,
Wonderful.
maybe.
Perfect.
I wish there was like a
insight. But it's like historical insight.
Yeah, but not even just historical. I was sort of wondering if there was some sort of like equivalent of like a general like sort of social understanding without being a charisma check.
Do a
or without
vibe
being, like-
check.
Yeah, basically a vibe check, you know? Like, roll a vibe check.
Am I coming to investigation?
Maybe? That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
very,
Yeah, but
like,
surely it's like
ambiguous.
whatever it is, I'd have a bit more knowledge of it anyway.
Yeah, okay,
Knowing
so
what I'd know.
make-
Not, like,
Perhaps it's just past experience. Like so.
history check. But are you proficient in history?
hang on a second. I don't know how to check that.
Yeah.
Is it got a little... It's got a
Little
little...
coloured in
circle.
dot. It's
No.
It'll be... Okay. Make a proficient roll in history. So add your modifier there and then add 3.
Oh, what the fuck?
So whatever that is, plus
Whatever
that,
is,
and
and
then add 3.
again.
Talking fucking
In the corner.
shit at me. Right, history plus 3. That's 10 plus 3, 13.
13? Okay. So Adrian is definitely smart enough to deal in this sort of thing, because like even though he is a bit of a fucking nutter, you can tell that he's very
Nice.
precise in what he does. Like the counter spell, the way he just sort of commanded it, and the killing was just one push. Everything he
Yeah.
does is measured, so he could definitely be capable of organizing this sort of thing. Let me get up the family tree real quick, just so I remember the names. You think, other than Adrian and Marcus, his brother,
You said Marcus is like even crazier.
Yeah,
than
Marcus
Oh, yeah,
is like
he's-
next level.
he is sort of, as opposed to just a measured, murderous sort of villain,
Yeah.
he is an unadulterated psychopath on 2 legs. He has been literally known to bite people's faces off. Like, just off. Like, someone it just will say the wrong thing to him. And, like, it's basically the Marilyn Manson moved his own rib rumor. It's like every kid in the world is like, I heard Marcus Petricini bit someone's face off because, like, he looked at him the wrong way. Or, like, there's ever so slight mutations where it's like, ooh, someone slapped Marcus on the bum and he had his neck bitten through and that
Yeah.
sort of thing, you know? But he's a fucking psycho.
Someone touched his ass in the dark.
Dirty.
So we fed him an oil painting.
You think that perhaps Romulus Petricini, so the actual like head of the family at the moment, like the patriarch, he's probably got too much going on in terms of organizing everyone and everything at all times, sort of thing, to get involved in old god nonsense, but you wouldn't put it past him. The only one that you could probably, or the 2 that you could safely rule out, are Claudius Petricini, because he's like 8 years old and an elf, so he's like the equivalent of like 2 days old, and Mira Bianchi, who is the current like matriarch of the family, not Romulus's wife, but Romulus's mother. She never took Romulus's father's, or the Romulus family name of Petricini. But Mira Bianchi is a very old, very beloved, very not of the family woman. So there's like a couple you can safely rule out, but everything else you're like, I honestly wouldn't put it past any of them. But Romulus and Marcus stand out as being, not Romulus, Adrian and Marcus stand out as being likely to be involved in, you know, messed up shit, but not necessarily old god shit. But yeah, those 2 are the sort of like hounds of the family that get sicked on people.
See,
and
this
all
is
this
why
stuff.
I think that is a good idea, Meredith, that I keep my mark.
That's probably a fair point.
Do you have a way of us detecting if people are walking around using magic to cover up tattoos?
I suppose that would be some sort of simple simple enough transmutation, or
I mean,
that could be a few things. That could be an illusion, like obfuscation.
I can detect magic, but it's only within 30 feet of me.
We need it on a bigger scale. Like, could we attach it to the dragon and they can fly up and see?
I mean, the difficulty as a wizard sometimes is teaching other people what to do, because I simply cannot bestow upon you all of these things. However, that wand that Baxter had earlier,
The fart stick?
the fart stick,
Put it back.
Sorry.
I wouldn't wave that around.
It stinks.
The so-called... Basically, if you're willing to give that up, I might be able to help. But it will be at the cost of this item.
Why? What for?
You know that new eye that your friend has?
Yeah.
It may be... It's probably...
Are you going to poke me in the eye with a fart stick?
No.
Okay.
It will not come to that, but I can probably double the range that you can use your detect magic spell.
With the fart stick?
Maybe triple. With the fart.
What's that got to do with my eye, though? Because I got detect traps with the eye.
Yeah, but
I got
he's-
regular
yeah,
detect.
he's like-
Ah.
I know that it itself doesn't detect the magic, but it may just be the exact sort of booster that we need. Being a beautifully sized little red marble of sorts,
What's
it
that?
may just be the thing we need. But it does involve breaking now.
Oh, you have to break it. Okay.
I will need to
you just thought it was a
completely
stick, right?
drain all...
I mean, I don't use soul magic anyway.
Failing that, you can sacrifice some other magical item, but something tells me the ones that you have you're rather attached to, other than the fart stick, which you didn't know was magic until I told
It's
you.
just a stick to you, right?
Look, you know what? I really liked the stick until about 20 minutes ago when everyone started calling it the fart stick, so here. And now I don't want it anymore. You happy? Y'all happy?
He's like,
We'll get you a new fart stick.
Cool.
he
pass
just
it
places
back.
he places his thumb one side of like this eye and his pinky the other side of your eye, like this. Puts his fingers on your eyebrow and leaves this one up, so he's sort of doing this, and he goes, I'm afraid this might hurt, chap. And then he just crushes this wand in his hand, and basically what that kid did with like crushing the magic, he sucks like all the magic out of it to the point where it's almost like he's wringing a towel, and you can even see like these little like glittery bits of like light falling from his hand, and a light traveled down one arm, across through his chest, lighting up his heart, and then down through the other, and then through his fingers straight into your head, basically. And the eye starts to like burn with like radiant heat, and
Is it supposed to do this?
I did say it would hurt. I am sorry. And it really starts to oh fuck, oh I'm gonna pass out. It's like to the point where it's such an intense heat.
Your eyeball being hot. That's
Yeah,
that's not
it's a bad time. And
This is the second time my eyeball's been burning.
yeah, it's an entirely
This time with chili
different pain
flakes.
though. The first time was just raw like physical.
Rubbing your eyes.
Yeah, that was
How
that
you'd
was,
expect
Come on,
pain.
come on.
that was shards
But
of
This is
shrapnel
something
in my
else
eye.
entirely. This like radiant, pure source of magic is like nothing that we as humans could ever experience. It's sort of like bending reality around your face, essentially. It's like full on, like you can see, like what everyone else sees are like these shockwaves rippling from his hands, and then it's just like as quick as it started, it's over, and
Hi, Lamb.
was the cat outside?
Yeah,
No,
she's
bless.
crying.
Bring him in. Roll initiative.
Yeah. Oh.
Ah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, he's like, take it for a spin, I suppose. Because it's normally, what do you say, 60 feet? Or 30?
Let me double check. 30 feet.
Okay.
I ritual detect.
Yeah,
Ritual cast detect magic.
It seems to go quicker here.
Okay.
Like, it 2.5, 3 minutes.
Okay.
It just turns on, and you're like, oh fuck, I wasn't expecting that yet.
Yeah.
And first of all, like everything is lit up. Like this,
Yeah, I was gonna
this
say, I'm
place is like a
gonna be
fucking
blinded.
rainbow. Yeah, it's like every little case, every potion bottle, every other book.
Looking
all
at
of these
Aerolith
scrolls.
looks like just looking at the sun.
Yeah, essentially, you don't get a read because there's just a constant prismatic shift all over him and around him. He's just this glowing ball of like
Why is it always my eyes?
I'm so sorry. Perhaps hold on, and then he clicks his fingers and he disappears. And for what you see, basically, you go right to the top of this tower where there's like less magical items, but you can see down a few floors and you can see 90 feet
Okay.
of detect
That
magic.
will help.
Mm.
Okay. Because in an arena, when people are all packed in, I can just...
Yeah, so whenever you cast
We
detect magic now, note it down to be a 90 foot instead of a 30 foot range.
Oh, and that's permanent.
Permanent.
Ooh, nice. Just for that one spell.
Yeah.
Just for that one
That's
spell.
cool.
So, I could probably do a lap around the arena
Yeah.
Jump on one of the chariots, you're like, oh fuck! Just looking out at the
and just
crowd.
get it and try and get a read on everyone.
Aerolith, I've got.
Yes. And he goes, oh, wait a minute. Clicks his fingers again. But this time you don't teleport because he's like, I think I've tortured them enough. You just sort of get pulled up and over this railing and dropped. But it's like hundreds of feet. And you guys can just hear this. And then just before he hits the floor, he just goes. And he just.
I hang in space and then spew.
Oh, did you have to?
Fart stick.
I was trying to stop you from being sick with all the teleporting, so I just pulled you down from the. Alright. This little magic broom comes out and goes.
Aww.
And then goes back. He's like, that's just for me. I could make it disappear, but that's funny.
I'm just thinking that if the Petruccinis are involved,
Mm-hmm.
then surely my mark being slightly different, because everyone's marks are different, right?
Yes,
Slightly.
from what I know.
Then my mark being made slightly different would mean I'd be able to get in easier.
Oh, so instead of being the brand of your current leader, I don't know what word to use without being offensive.
That'll do.
Okay. You think
Manager.
maybe a brand of a different manager, perhaps from somewhere else in the world, or someone higher up the food chain?
Yeah.
Haha.
Or maybe one I can just kind
I
of
like the way you think.
change,
Ooh.
so I can
Ooh.
flip between.
He just has this, like, you can see this idea, and he's like, I've been wanting to try this for so long. Hold that thought. And then he disappears again, and you can see him just, like, flitting from, like, bit to bit above, and he's like, where the fuck did I put this book? He's, like, flitting about. You can just hear, like, clattering off in some of the side rooms, then in the library, and then you can just hear...
When he's loud and flustered, he sounds like this.
He does, yeah.
He's, like, just everywhere, and then he just
Wait,
teleports right
is he
back
this?
next to where you
Yeah.
are, and he's like... I filed this one alphabetically by author and not by book name. Not a word.
I saw your system.
It works up here, okay? Sometimes books just...
Hey,
I've not read this one in a
I'm
very
not
long time.
judging. I don't have as much to catalogue as you do.
Yes, you'll find that you'll catalogue certain things by certain things at some point in your life, and then you get very bored of that system and try other things. Anyway, here we go. And he goes through this book, and he starts, like, leafing through, and he's like, aha! I know I say this a lot, and it seems to be more frequent, but Lilith, this might hurt. Sorry.
As if scabby bird tits isn't enough for a day.
He's like, I suggest we
That is 100%
tie it to
like your
somewhere a
wrestler
little more
name or
comfortable
something.
while I perform the procedure.
That bad?
Yes. I can just change it once superficially, but if you want to be able to control how this thing is shaped and formed, it's gonna sting.
I mean, that could be
I just
very
think it'd be
useful.
really useful if I
Yes.
can change it, and then I can be in with the lowers and the highers, right?
Can she also switch it off?
I mean, I can do that, but it will be more painful. Magic is a cruel bitch.
But what's
Oh,
the
I
reason-
know.
What's the
He sort
reason
of
I
looks
need
at
to
your eye
switch
and
it
he's
off?
like, sorry.
What's the reason I need to switch her off? Whereas I can.
If you need to not be affiliated with the
Yeah.
Petrocinis at some point.
Or if you ever feel like being intimate with someone that you don't want to know your business, it's probably quite useful.
Okay.
Why would being an actor affect intimacy?
Because what if they're from a different troupe?
Oh, yes.
Think, Scaris, think!
Ha! Now you know how we feel when they're talking shit.
So, he sort of gestures towards some of the more, like, comfortable, like, leisurely rooms.
Is it gonna feel like the first time? I mean, I do quite vividly remember being branded.
It won't feel like a brand. It'll feel more like, have you ever had any of your skin sloughed off?
No!
Ever caught your foot so badly on a nail that it rips a big chunk through your foot?
I mean,
You've had bits ripped off your boobs.
yeah.
Oh, I assure you it'll hurt a lot more than that.
Have you ever had skin ripped off your boobs?
Not specifically my breasts. But then he pulls the left side of his hair out of the way, and then he sort of like passes his hand over, and it clearly like drops some sort of illusion, and he's like, "Alchemist fire accident."
Oh, I can relate.
Am I gonna
But
be
you
bubbly?
look at it, like, as you look at it, you're like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
Like that is real bad. Like this is a deep, almost like it looks like more that someone has scooped ice cream than someone has like burnt something. It is not superficial. It is like a deep wound.
Am I gonna be
I did
bubbly?
almost exactly the same thing, but I'm just lucky that I was a tiefling while I did it.
Am I gonna
I'm
be
a
bubbly?
human.
I'm more concerned about being
Elf?
bubbly.
Huh? I don't know. I've lost track.
Nobody seems to care that I might be a bubble.
You're not going to be a bubble.
Am I gonna have a bubbly
he
face?
passes that back and he goes, no. You will simply be able to, at will, imagine a brand
face.
of sorts, provided you have seen one. As long as you can remember what it looks like, it can appear as such on your neck, or disappear entirely altogether, without the need for you having to know how to disguise oneself properly magically.
Okay.
It,
But you're not
it'll
gonna
be a
burn my
lot
face.
quicker and easier than makeup too, I assure you.
But you're not gonna burn my face.
I'm not going to burn your face.
I kind of need to keep my
Your face will be fine. I promise not to burn your face.
As Aerolith is about to start,
Yeah.
I cast guidance on Aerolith just to make sure that
That he doesn't burn Lilith's face, because Lilith will lose her shit and destroy everything.
Okay, to put it into a metaphor, that's sort of like taking a pipette of, like, clear, just sort of fresh water and dropping it in the sea and hoping that the sea becomes fresh water.
even
Like,
so,
yeah. Like,
Even
he's
so.
like, I do appreciate that, but try this one out for size. And he gives you guidance, but it's like the equivalent to like greater guidance. You add, instead of just 1d4, it's 5d4 to one check, like within the next minute. And he's like, do something cool.
I do a double backflip.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check plus 5d4.
Nice.
I'm totally still gonna fall on my face somehow. Watch, it's
Probably.
all gonna be one.
It's like, as all of this is unfolding, you guys are like slowly witnessing just what this guy can do, given in like ideas and enough time. It's like he does genuinely sort of bend magic to his will as opposed to the other way around. But it's starting to become quite frightening. You know, it's that that back of your mind question of, well, what can he
Is
do?
this okay? Is this allowed?
Yeah, like what is happening elsewhere in the world, butterfly effect wise, you know?
I'm assuming that Lilith knows what the other people's marks look like.
28.
As in, like, if she's seen someone else's mark.
Yeah, perfect double backflip, just on the spot, just. And he's like, you see? Shame that you wasted it on a backflip.
Gong cheers.
Yeah. I'm assuming that Lilith would know what other people's marks look like. So if she's
You'd know a few, yeah.
She'd see them and be like, right.
Yeah, so you could blend in with a few of the other sort of like pods, definitely. But you don't necessarily know all of them, but
like,
you
so
know
are
a
they,
few.
you know, the marks, are they magic? Or have any...
So with the brand itself, there is an enchantment that basically prevents someone from essentially disguising it, which is why he's like, this is gonna hurt.
But I mean, for example, Scarus can see magic, right? Would he be able
Yeah,
to see...
no. So it doesn't show us detecting magic or anything.
Okay.
It's just the initial imprint. It would glow for a little while with magic, but then would just slowly fade over time. And yours was done when you were like a kid, basically. So like you don't even remember really getting it done in the sense of like you remember the pain and you remember what was going on, but like you don't remember anything sort of like around where you were or like much of the people and that sort of thing. But yeah, so you enter this essentially what looks like his wine drinking room. Like there's a lot of very nicely crafted leather chairs.
Can I change my mark in a bar?
Yeah, like leather chairs, and there's like futons and like different sort of styles of sitting and reading corners and drinking
I imagine
corners.
there just being like an old guy with a moustache drinking an old fashioned there.
Yeah, he's like,
Sorry.
morning, chaps. You've been out on the hunting range today. Bomber command.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scry is just sat there. Yeah. Imagine it's like there's definitely a Scry corner, but then there's also like a sort of exotic Middle Eastern vibe area, and it's just like all these different things. And he's like, I'm a very whimsical man with a lot of different tastes. Pick your favorite interior design and take a seat, and we shall get started.
I'm not really worried about the interior design.
Then find the nearest seat. And he just like gestures to like one of these sort of like you know the lounge chairs of like hedonism bot from Futurama,
Yes.
like the sort of the long lion one with the
Chaise
angle back.
lounge.
Yeah, that's the bastard. Yeah, so there's one of them, and he's like, if you would. And he like lies you down and gets you all situated and like just puts way too many fucking pillows. He's like trying to be nice because he's like, oh, this next bit's gonna suck for both of us. More for you, but.
But Lilith might punch me
He
afterwards.
takes what feels like the equivalent of 20-25 minutes doing various different sort of chants and rituals and taking different both medical and arcane equipment and sort of like making incisions and like poking and prodding and like electrocuting her at one point. Not like a full on, but just like putting a little rod in and giving like a and it's like, oh fuck. He's like, oh, there's a hair that is not going to grow back. He's like just doing all this potching, and after the end of this 20-25 minutes of some at times some pretty excruciating pain, he's like, think of another design. Do you have one locked in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, place your hand over like so. Slowly wipe your hand away while still continuing to think of the design.
Mm-hmm.
And click your fingers. Yeah, so as you do the
Punch
slow wipe,
myself in the
and then
face.
and it just pops to the design you're thinking of, and he's like, I will admit, I didn't have to do the finger thing. I just think it's so much more impactful when you click and then something happens, because I didn't used to click and I would just do the spell and people were very surprised and
Yeah, but now people will know I'm doing it or doing something.
shit. Hold on. And he like puts it back down and spends like another 10 minutes like undoing the last step. He's like, okay, now you can just think of one and wipe your hand, it'll be fine. The click was for me. Ta-da! yeah, now you can just, without doing any sort of spells or anything, basically twice per day, or twice per long rest, you can just wipe your hand down your neck and change it. So you can change it to summon and then change it back or whatever, but he's like, sorry, it's not, all the time, but someone without magical capabilities innate to them, it's the best I can do.
I mean, it'll be useful, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it will.
Like,
Does anyone else want anything cool before they leave? I've got a lot of stuff. I'm very bored.
Thanks, but we really should get going.
I mean, I think I really do deserve an ale after
Do
that.
you want to enchant this and just like take out the mole? Like, do you want to make that a little bit better? Anything you can do?
Your original mole.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Hold on.
Is that the one that I put returning weapon on, or did I put it on the beer keg one?
No, that was
Original
on the
one.
wall. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He does one last sort of like teleport you all to a place, and this is like perfection to you. It is a proper, full-blown like engineer's workshop with every tool rack, every tool and bench you could possibly think of. All these like sort of equivalent of modern day like bench tools, like a sort of big saw, but just like a sort of magically done one. So it's got like a big blade of magic, just like this big spinning disc of magic that's essentially operated with like a clockwork lever, and it's just the ultimate steampunk wet dream workshop. It's amazing. And he takes the maul, puts it on this like there's these two like grippy claw type things that hold it up. He reaches up, pulls down these like big circular welder goggles, and just like sort of pulls up this part of his robe. He's like,
Scarius
as much as I love doing
so
this,
torn.
it does smell a little when you heat metal.
Fasting.
Scarius is so
Fasting.
torn right now
I'm a
because he
new
wants to
class
see
fighter.
what Aerolith
Yeah.
is doing, but he also wants to touch everything
Yeah,
in
he's
the
like,
shop.
feel free to have a poke around and have a play.
But what are you doing?
You see. Watch this. And then he starts like making all these little inscriptions on like the faces of the plates. And he's doing it with essentially what looks like a gas line of like a sort of pneumatic engraver.
Cool.
And there's like all these horrible bright yellow and blue sparks shooting out of it. And he's like, hence the goggles, don't look too closely. And he spends some time inscribing it. And then he's doing like these sort of rituals over the top. And he closes his eyes and he starts like essentially floating, like sort of Zenyatta monk cross leg above it. And he starts passing his hands over this this
Now he's just
mole.
showing off.
And he's like, yes, this bit is just surprisingly comfortable.
And then he
bet he
snipes
just clicked his
Widowmaker from across the
fingers.
map.
He doesn't. He taps the the plate of it twice, and then hands it back to you. And one side, you get +1 flat acid damage, and the other side, you get +1 flat lightning damage.
Oh, nice.
So depending which side you swing with, like the
That's
two
cool.
different plates.
That's cool.
So yeah, he's like, I really enjoy this enchantment.
That's pretty cool.
Does that work if you throw it?
Good question.
You might have noticed I put the returning weapon.
Ooh. If it were to hit flat on a face of the weapon, yes. Basically, as long as you hit where that inscription is on each side, then yes. If it were to hit on the tip, probably not,
Okay.
unfortunately.
+1 acid with +1.
Do you think you'd be able to make the rest of our weapons cool?
Oh, entirely so, yes. I suppose we've been friendly long enough. I will do one weapon for each of you to make it fair. And then I'm all spent. As much as I do enjoy your company, there are things I have to do. And even though we're sort of out of time in the sense that we are outside of time, How do I know that if I don't give you... I could give you the greatest enchantments in the world and you could turn around and kill me. You know, maybe. But bit by bit, you know? Test the waters, see how you get on with them. I don't want to give you too much to handle in one go because you might blow your arms off.
Okay,
That's
I
fair
have a
enough.
dagger and a rapier. Well, 2 daggers and a rapier. What do you want?
Hand me the dagger a second.
1?
Yeah, one of the daggers. So he takes it and... Someone's moving furniture upstairs.
Back in the chair.
Elephant.
Entirely, like, in a completely different fashion. Just does all these other rituals and enchantments and stuff on it and is using different tools entirely. And sharpens the edge of it and everything. You now have a +1 dagger that has a +5 to stealth when trying to hide it, or sleight, whatever. Like if it's sleight of hand or stealth to hide it, you get a +5 to that.
You've got a concealed carry.
Yeah, and instead of 20 to 60 throwing, it is 30 to 70 throwing.
Okay.
Cool, thank you.
All right then.
+1 dagger, what does that mean?
So you get +1 to your attack rolls and
Oh, my
damage rolls.
Damage and my...
Yeah, so there's actually a +1 dagger, like magical weapon on D&D Beyond that you can just put on.
Okay.
But then just remember that it's got a +10 feet of range and is easier to conceal. Cool.
Thanks.
Scars? Any interest or
I'm okay.
more of your own sort of
Yeah,
drive?
Yeah.
My bow. Do you have a bow?
I have an idea. Wait there. And then he grabs the bow and again he's just like teleporting all around this fucking workshop. Basically what he's done with it is there are sort of magical blades that shoot out of each end when you like press a button that you can now, instead of having to swap to your short swords, you can use basically a short sword attack in each hand
that's sick.
while holding the bow. So you can even like on your multi-attacks you can multi-attack like shoot, hit, and then bonus attack hit.
Okay.
So yeah, he's like I can change the color of the blades if you wish, because at the moment they're just sort of like these
When,
glowing yellow
my stealth
rods
on
that like
now
stick out. But he's like,
would
any
be
preference?
15. Both of them would be actually.
Lilac.
He just sort of does this hand gesture in the air. And then he sort of looks over at Scarius and then goes, types in the air because he saw you doing it, and he's like, this is pretty cool. And then yeah, they just shoot out with these like basically what look like lilac lightsabers. They are short sword length, but now you can just so
Cool.
they deal magical slashing damage too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
Okay, that's pretty sick. We've had a lovely time today. Now we need to go to
The chariot racing.
okay, well, enjoy your time. Place your bets wisely. I shall see you all.
Before you teleport us, I want to get detect magic up again.
Oh,
So I just ritual cast detect magic,
yeah, okay.
knowing that it takes a little bit.
Yeah, and then as you finish that up, he claps his hands and whoop, you just teleport like outside the Colosseum with like hundreds of people around you all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll end it for today.
Sweet.
whoop whoop.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thanks.
Be sure to join the Discord, linked below. Leave comments and likes and stuff if you're watching this later on YouTube. Every little helps. I'm not to say that. I'm like, it's branded. Cease and desist from Tesco. The knife. We'll catch you all soon. Bye.